Chapter 956. The shadow who spoke before pondered for a long time before shaking his head. We can't act rashly. Our clan has always been cautious to avoid being caught by humans and other demon clans. This person's body is ridiculously strong. He might have some rare treasures on him, or he might be hiding his cultivation. If he's hiding his cultivation, he might be able to fool the two of us. This means that his strength is far above ours. If we act rashly, we might expose our existence. Even if he's stronger than us, so what? Our clan has encountered many experts, but none of them can take us down. Our ancestor was not taken down because of his clan's talent, but also because of his cautiousness. If you want to take risks again, I'll report it to the elder, and you won't come out anymore. Big brother, please don't report it. I'll listen to you in the future. Then let's go back first and report this to the elder. How to deal with this kid will be decided by the elder. Even with Wang Daoyuan's spiritual sense cultivation, he could not find the two shadows in the small valley where he hunted demon beasts before. He followed Silver Flood Dragon and the other two and happily returned to Snow Dragon City. After returning to the small courtyard, Silver Flood Dragon said, "We've got 5 third-order Howling Moon wolves' bodies and 2 live wolf pups. We need to exchange them for spirit stones as soon as possible. Brother Jean Lin and I both have dragon blood, so we'll get a discount when we go out to sell things. We'll sell these things." Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan had the blood of bull and bear demon beasts respectively, so they did not have much status in the Arctic ice field. When dealing with other people, they had no right to speak. When they went out to sell things, they could not help at all. Wang Daoyuan naturally had no objection. He also wanted to take the opportunity to learn more about the business situation in Snow Dragon City. Although the Yan Kingdom had many territories in name, the Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce recruited people very quickly. At this rate, it would only take a few hundred years to develop all the non-core industries in the Yan Kingdom. At that time, if they wanted to continue to improve their strength, they could only expand outward. Although the Arctic ice field was not suitable for low-level cultivators, there were still many resources. In the endless ice field, there were countless minerals buried. 80 to 90% of the ice attribute refining materials in Beiyuan Shoshin came from the Arctic ice field. In addition to refining materials, there were also many ice attribute spirit herbs in the ice field. Most of the spirit medicines that were useful for the soul were local specialties of the Arctic ice plains. Wang Daoyuan followed the Silver Flood Dragon out of the courtyard and came to the center of Snow Dragon City. Most of the powerful shops in Snow Dragon City were located in the center of the city. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Brother Silver Dragon, which shop should we sell these things to?" Silver Wyrm smiled and said, "Of course it's to sell to the Myriad Rivers Trading Company." This Myriad Rivers Trading Company isn't simple. It was founded by the Yan Kingdom. I heard that the president is the Yan Emperor himself. Now, the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could obtain treasures from the southern wasteland in the south, Snow Dragon City in the north, and even the sea in the east. If these 2 wolf pups were sold to other shops, they would not be able to fetch a high price at all. They might even provoke the demon clan behind the shop. The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce was the only one who didn't do any business other than trading in humans. Young demonic beasts were very popular there. He's also very generous. If we sell these things to other shops, we'll be lucky if we can sell them for 2 million spirit stones. But if we sell them to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce, 3 million spirit stones won't be a problem. Before you came, I've done business with the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce many times, so I'm familiar with them. Now that we have a good relationship, it's easy to do business. Wang Daoyuan had already given up on the daily affairs of the Yan Kingdom. He wasn't too sure about the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop in Snow Dragon City. How can the human clan have a foothold in the frozen icy plains? Aren't they afraid of the demon clan finding trouble with them? Silver Dragon smiled and said, "When the human clan and the demon clan negotiated peace, the human clan gave the Ice Plains demon clan a lot of concessions. On the contrary, the human clan attacked the sky-chopping mountain range demon clan ruthlessly. After the negotiation, the Ice Plains Demon Clan and the Human Clan didn't offend each other and their relationship was quite good. The frozen Icy Plains Demon Clan could only grow some ice spirit herbs, which couldn't satisfy the cultivation needs of the Demon Clan. If they want to obtain enough spirit herbs, they need to trade with the Human Clan. Only the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could satisfy the needs of the Ice Plains Demon Clan. Therefore, the Ice Plains Demon Clan welcomed the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce to do business. In addition, the retired emperor of the Yen Kingdom is extremely powerful. When he was at the middle Yuanying stage, he was able to kill a quasi-god beast Grand Monster King. Now that he has reached the peak of the Yuanying stage, killing a Grand Monster King should be an easy task. The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce is also an industry of the Yen Kingdom. Who would dare to offend them? Therefore, the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce is doing business in Snow Dragon City, as long as they don't openly attack the Ice Plains Demon Clan. Even if they do something out of line, the Demon Clan will turn a blind eye. The two arrived at the entrance of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop. There were 4 shops here, all of which belonged to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. A middle Zifu disciple immediately came out to greet them. Silver Dragon, Dao Yu, what did you get this time? This cultivator looked like a young man, and he didn't seem to have any signs of decay. He should be less than 200 years old. The technique he trained in was the legacy of the Valley of Beasts, and he was most likely a descendant of the Wang clan. There were many descendants of the Wang clan, and Wang Daoyuan truly couldn't recognize all of them. The Silver Dragon laughed. Dao Yu Wang, I've made a fool of myself. How could I possibly get anything good out of this life of mine? I just went out hunting with a few brothers and killed a few third-rank monstrous beasts. After speaking, he introduced, this is a new brother who just joined us. His name is Jin Lin, and he has the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. Brother Jin Lin, Dao Yu Wang's name is Wang Dimeo, and his grandfather is a Jin Dan cultivator of the Wang clan. Upon hearing this name, Wang Daoyuan immediately knew who this person was. After all, he had seen the clan records before. He was the grandson of his second brother, Wang Daoxing. His talent wasn't bad, and he used to be a manager of the Wang clan's merchant hall. Afterwards, when the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce was established, some descendants of the Wang clan had to be placed there. Thus, Wang Dimeo was placed there. Only, he hadn't expected that he would come to such a dangerous place as Snow Dragon City. Wang Daoyuan clasped his hands and said, Greetings, Dao Yu Wang. Wang Dimeo naturally couldn't see through his disguise, or else he would have knelt down and kowtowed. Dao Yu Jin Lin, you don't have to be so polite. Silver Flood Dragon Dao Yu, please come to the second floor to discuss business. The two followed Wang Dimeo to the second floor. At this moment, an upper-grade 4th-rank monstrous beast with a dragon horn on his head came down from the 3rd floor, accompanied by a Jin Dan cultivator. This Jin Dan cultivator wasn't a descendant of the Wang clan. He should be a rogue cultivator recruited by the Chamber of Commerce. Snow Dragon City was the foreign trade window of the extreme frozen ice plains. The shop here might develop into a branch in the future, so naturally, there would be a Jin Dan cultivator overseeing it. This guy with a dragon horn on his head was an old acquaintance. This guy was called Frost Flood Dragon. Wang Daoyuan had interacted with him when he was still a late-stage Jin Dan cultivator. At that time, he was already an upper-grade 4th-rank monstrous beast. After more than 100 years, his cultivation hadn't improved. However, his bloodline had improved a lot, and the single horn on his head had become a pair of forked dragon horns. Back then, Frost Flood Dragon was one of the upper echelons of the extreme frozen ice plains. Now that his bloodline had improved, his status wouldn't decline. Frost Flood Dragon wasn't worth mentioning in front of Wang Daoyuan, but he was still a big shot in Snow Dragon City. Such a person wouldn't come here personally to buy anything. He must have come here to discuss something important with the Yen Kingdom. Of course, with his status, he wasn't qualified to discuss anything important. The Jin Dan cultivator overseeing the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce also didn't have any decision-making power. Frost Flood Dragon was most likely here to prepare for the meeting between the upper echelons of both sides. The Yen kingdom didn't have any conflicts with the monstrous beasts. The strongest cultivator in the Wind Snow Divine Palace was only an early-stage Yuanian cultivator. They couldn't take down the Grand Demon King even with their legendary Dharma artifacts. In addition, they had to keep an eye on the West Sea and couldn't find trouble with the monstrous beasts in the ice plains. The extreme frozen ice plains monstrous beasts could only deal with the monstrous beasts in the sky/mountain range. Chapter 957. Now, Wang Daoyuan could not reveal his identity, so he pretended not to know Frost Jiao. With Frost Jiao's cultivation, he could not see through his disguise. He, Wang Dimeo, and Silver Jiao all bowed to Frost Jiao. Then, the Golden Core cultivator of Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce sent Frost Jiao out of the door, and the two followed Wang Dimeo to a spacious secret room on the second floor. Wang Dimeo cupped his hands and said, "Dao Yu, take out whatever good things you have." Silver Jiao took out 6 spirit beast bags. "These are our gains this time. Dao Yu, take a look." Wang Dimeo used his divine sense to check the 6 spirit beast bags one by one. When he checked the demon beast corpses, his expression was very calm. After all, there were many people hunting demon beasts in the frozen icefield, and Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce's shop bought demon beast corpses the most. When he saw the 2 wolf pups, his face lit up. Silver Jiao, Daoyu's harvest is indeed not small. 5 rank 3 howling moon wolves and 2 wolf pups are still alive. Wang Daoyuan shook his head inwardly. Wang Dimeo could not hide his emotions. He still needed some time to practice. Silver Jiao smiled. "It's just a small harvest. You've seen the things, so give me a price. I'm considered a regular customer of your shop, so I'll give you a discount." "That's easy." Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce has always been particular about doing as the Romans do. In Snow Dragon City, all demon beasts and half-demon beasts with dragon and black tortoise bloodlines will have a discount. Dao Yu both meet this condition, so I'll give you a reasonable price. 2 rank 3 upper rank howling moon wolves for a total of 1 million spirit stones. 3 mid-rank howling moon wolves for a total of 1,200,000 spirit stones. As for the 2 wolf pups, I'll give you 400,000 spirit stones. According to your status, I'll raise the price by 10%. The total is 2,860,000 spirit stones. In the entire Snow Dragon City, only Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce can give you this price. Other shops can give you 2 million spirit stones. Silver Jiao's face was already filled with satisfaction, but he still asked for a higher price. "Dao Yu, give me a bit more. We've been doing business for several years. I also heard that the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce has been purchasing young demonic beasts, wanting to nurture them into spirit beasts. These 2 wolf pups only had the cultivation of first stage upper grade. They must have been born not long ago. With a bit of training, it can become a powerful spirit beast." Wang Dimeo didn't continue to argue, "This price is already not low, but for the sake of these 2 spirit beast cubs, I'll raise the total price to 3 million spirit stones. You've seen my sincerity. If I raise the price again, I'll have another black mark on my record. Even if I don't do business, I won't affect my future." Now that the Wang clan had more clansmen, they could no longer manage the clan as roughly as before. Rules had to be established in all aspects. He also began to learn from the experiences of the major powers in arranging the positions of the various clansmen. Other than a few exceptionally talented disciples, the rest of the people's treatment and position changes were all dependent on their daily performance. Wang Dimeo's talent was not bad, but he only had 3 spirit veins, and his main spirit vein was more than 7 inches long. There were more than 100 of such talented clansmen in the Wang family. Although he had Wang Daoxing as his backer, Wang Daoxing's status was not too high. If he wanted to stand out, he could only rely on his own ability. The Silver Flood Dragon nodded in satisfaction, "We'll follow Daoyu's price." Then, he handed over all 6 spirit beast pouches. Wang Dimeo took the spirit beast pouches and took out a storage pouch, Here are 30,000 mid-grade spirit stones. You can count them. The silver flood dragon smiled. I still trust the reputation of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. This time, hunting the howling moon wolves was too easy. The 4 of them were not injured, and their magic tools, spirit talismans, healing pills, and other things were not used. The silver flood dragon was not in a hurry to buy these things. He only bought 2 bottles of pills to improve his physical strength. Then, the 2 of them returned to the small courtyard. The silver flood dragon took out the storage pouch containing the spirit stones. This time, we sold 3 million spirit stones. According to the previous rules, the demon beasts killed alone belong to the slayer. The cubs caught will be divided equally among the 4 of us. Wang Daoyuan killed 2 third-grade mid-grade howling moon wolves alone, so he should have received 800,000 spirit stones. Together with the equal distribution of the cubs, he received more than 900,000 spirit stones. After dividing the spirit stones, Xiong Shan asked, "Why don't we have another meal?" Wang Daoyuan shook his head. "The cultivation technique I cultivate is incomplete. I will have to change it in the future. Now that I have some spirit stones, I should save them first and buy a new cultivation technique in the future." Seeing that he was not interested, Xiong Shan did not force him. He went to the restaurant with the silver flood dragon and golden horn to eat and drink. After they left, Wang Daoyuan took out a communication jade talisman and sent a message to Wang Mingchen, asking him what the demons wanted to discuss with the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. Half a day later, Wang Mingchen sent a message. Clear Glass City had also just received a report from the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. The ice flood dragon of the extreme frost icy plains had sent him to negotiate with the Yen Kingdom. He wanted to do a big business. The ice flood dragon did not say what the business was. He only hoped to meet with the Yen Emperor. The ice flood dragon did not dare to show himself easily. With Wang Daoyuan's current strength, he had no hope of escaping if he wanted to kill him. Wang Mingchen did not dare to make a decision easily because it concerned the relationship between the human race and the demon race. After receiving the message, Wang Daoyuan immediately replied. Wang Mingchen received Wang Daoyuan's reply. After reading it, he smiled and said, "Father's guess is similar to ours. The Ice Plains demon race wants to join forces with the Yen Kingdom to deal with the sky-chopping mountain range demon race. Father means that they can send people over to negotiate. As long as it does not involve the important secrets of the Yen Kingdom, business can be discussed. As for joining forces to deal with the enemy, that is wishful thinking." Wang Shui also looked at the jade talisman. "This is a good solution. We humans are not suitable to get involved in the internal conflicts of the demon race. Otherwise, the people we send will be easily attacked. Since Daoyuan has agreed, we should reply to them as soon as possible and allow the Ice Plains demon race to send envoys to negotiate with us." Wang Mingchen nodded and sent a message to Snow Dragon City. A month later, 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons boarded the flying boat of Snow Dragon City's Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce and flew south. Wang Mingshan of the Yen Kingdom's Honglu Temple personally led people to Guiyan City to welcome them. Then, he led the 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons to Qingli City. Wang Mingchen received them in the Imperial Extreme Hall. This was the highest standard for receiving envoys. It could be said that he placed the Ice Plains demon race on the same level as the human race. The human race and the demon race had always looked down on each other. It was not easy to achieve this. The 2 upper-grade rank 4 demons also knew etiquette. They came to the Imperial Extreme Hall and bowed to Wang Mingchen. North Mountain demon races Han Jiao and Xian Yu greet the Yen Emperor. Han Jiao was the demon race that contacted the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce in Snow Dragon City. He was appreciated by the Ice Dragon Great Demon King and had a good status. Xian Yu was a rather muscular youth. He was the envoy sent by the Ice Plains demon race's Black Tortoise lineage. Wang Mingchen waved his hand and said, "No need to be so polite. The Great Demon King of the Ice Plains wants to do business with the Yen Kingdom." "What business is it?" Han Jiao cupped his hands and said, "After the peace talks between the demon race and the human race, the demon race of the ice plains and the human race did not offend each other. Both sides had lived in peace for several decades, and trade had been very frequent. Both clans had benefited greatly. However, the demon race of the heaven/mountain range was dissatisfied with the peace talks. They were afraid of the Yen Kingdom's retired emperor and did not dare to go against the human race. They wanted to rope in the demon race of the ice plains to deal with the human race. Naturally, the demon race of the ice plains did not want to be enemies with the human race. Therefore, we rejected the proposal of the demon race of the heaven/mountain range. The Fire Phoenix Great Demon King held a grudge and wanted to forcefully annex the demon race of the ice plains to deal with the human race. The demon race of the ice plains is spread across the vast ice plains. Even the Ice Dragon Great Demon King could not gather enough manpower. Therefore, the demon race of the ice plains has always been at a disadvantage. The Great Demon King sent me to ask for help from the Yen Kingdom and asked the Yen Emperor to help the demon race of the ice plains. Chapter 958. After hearing Ice Flood Dragon's words, Wang Mingchen knew that this was indeed the case. The Ice Plains demon race wanted to drag the Yen Kingdom down with them to deal with the heaven/mountain range demon race. He gave Wang Daochang a look, and Wang Daochang immediately understood. The Yen Kingdom is very tempted by your words. However, the Extreme Frost Ice Plains demon race and the heaven/mountain range demon race belong to the demon race. In the eyes of humans, they are all the same. If we join forces with the Ice Plains demon race, we won't even be able to differentiate between friend and foe when we deal with the heaven/mountain range demon race. Furthermore, the Yen Kingdom is also a top power of the human race and is guarding a region for the human race. If we join forces with the demon race, what will the other human powers think of the Yen Kingdom? This was almost a declaration. Of course, as the Yen Kingdom's emperor, Wang Mingchen naturally couldn't say it directly. If his subordinates said it first, there would be room for negotiation if there was a problem. At this moment, Xianyu, who had been silent all this while, cupped his hands and said, the Yen Kingdom doesn't need to join forces with the Ice Plains demon race. They only need to attack the heaven/mountain range demon race's territory in Linhai State. This way, the heaven/mountain range demon race won't dare to attack the extreme frost ice plains. At that time, the Ice Plains demon race will be able to gather the strength to gain the upper hand and suppress the heaven/mountain range demon race. Once this was said, Wang Mingchen and the other two's expressions changed drastically. Asking the Yen Kingdom to reduce the pressure on the Ice Plains demon race was no different from a fart. Once the Yen Kingdom killed a few rank 4 or 5 demons, the heaven/mountain range demon race would definitely hold a grudge and attack the Yen Kingdom's industries. The Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries extended from the southern wilderness to the northern mountains. They were all close to the heaven/mountain range and were distributed in a belt shape. As long as they were attacked by a strong enemy, they would be unable to take care of each other. Rank 4 and Rank 5 demon beasts could cross the heaven/mountain range and attack any of the Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries. The Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce's industries that spanned hundreds of thousands of miles would be on fire. No matter how capable Wang Daoyuan was, he wouldn't be able to protect such a large area. There was no need to even mention Linhai Prefecture. The heavenly/mountain range had sealed off the 10,000 Rivers Valley, cutting off the connection between Linhai Prefecture and Qingli Prefecture. If he sent out a few more nascent Soul Realm demon kings to attack, there would be no survivors of the human race in Linhai State. He had paid such a huge price to relieve the pressure on the Ice Plains demon race. If the Ice Plains demon race were to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, it would become a one-on-one battle between the Yen country and the heaven/mountain range demon race. When both sides were injured, they would come out to pick the fruits of their labor. It was true that Wang Daoyuan was strong enough to kill all the demons on the surface. However, the heavenly/mountain range was such a large territory, and many mountain peaks were deep in the 9 heavens astral wind layer. Even a divine transformation stage cultivator would have a hard time finding a place where a 5th grade demon could hide. Whenever they were free, they would come out to cause trouble. In the future, the Yan kingdom would have to give up all the territory south of the Wanchuan River, let alone expand. Wang Shi snorted, Xian Yudao's proposal, please forgive the Yan kingdom for not accepting it. It's not convenient for us humans to get involved in the internal affairs of the demon race. If the two envoys have nothing else to say, please leave. Wang Mingxian's face was also filled with anger, looking like he was about to flip out at any moment. Han Jiao was experienced in diplomacy. Before the spirit qi in Beiyuan Xiuxian was restored, he had been dealing with humans and half-demons. He also sensed the problem in Xian Yu's words. However, both of them represented the Ice Plains demon race, so he could not expose them directly. Now that everyone in the Yan kingdom was angry, he quickly said, Your Majesty, please don't be angry. Xian Yu has the bloodline of the Xian Wu. Their clan is not good with words. If they have offended you in any way, please forgive them, Your Majesty. Wang Mingxian also said coldly, if you want to talk, then talk. Don't make such rude requests. Minister Zhua has said that the Yan kingdom will not directly participate in the battle between the demon race. No matter what the Ice Plains demon race offers, the Yan kingdom will not participate. Han Jiao was relieved. He did not plan to let the Yan kingdom participate in the battle. He just wanted to fight for it. Since he could not fight for it, he had to talk. Your Majesty, the extreme zero ice plains is very cold. Only ice spirit plants can survive. All kinds of spirit herbs are very scarce. If it was during normal times, it would be fine. Now that we are fighting with the sky beheading mountain range demon race, we need a lot of resources to recover our spirit qi and heal the injured demons. The extreme zero ice plains is lacking in these resources, so we need to buy them from the Yan kingdom. Wang Mingxian nodded. Wang Mingkong is in charge of the trade. I will summon him to the palace and let him talk with you. Soon, Wang Mingkong came to the Imperial Extreme Palace and bowed to Wang Mingxian. Brother, you don't have to be so polite. The Demon King of the Extreme Zero Ice Plains sent an envoy to discuss trade with us. You are usually in charge of this, so you can discuss it. Wang Mingkong bowed and said yes, then asked Han Jiao, may I know what the two emissaries want to buy? Xian Yu said, the flying warships of the humans are good. If you can sell some to us, the Extreme Zero Ice Plains demon race can quickly gather enough power. By then, the biggest advantage of the sky beheading mountain range demon race will be gone. Hearing this, everyone in the palace shook their heads secretly. The black tortoise bloodline of the northern mountain range demon race was really lacking. They sent such an idiot to touch their sore spot. Flying warships were one of the important advantages of the humans over the demon race. With these things, they could quickly transport people. Whether it was a human or a demon, even a rank 5 demon or a Yuanian cultivator could only fly a few 100,000 miles by themselves. If they could take a flying warship or a flying warship, as long as they had enough spirit stones and manpower, it would be easy to fly a few 100,000 miles. If the demon race obtained enough flying warships, the biggest advantage of the humans would be gone. It was impossible to sell something that could settle down in the demon race, no matter how many spirit stones they had. Wang Mingkong refused. The Yan kingdom never sells flying warships. Even if it is a flying warship, it will not be sold easily. Please change your request. Xian Yu still wanted to say something, but Han Jiao glared at him and said, the Ice Plains demon race lacks all kinds of spirit herbs the most. This is also one of the biggest advantages of the sky beheading mountain range. After all, there are many kinds of spirit herbs in the sky beheading mountain range. I hope that the humans can sell a large number of rank 4 healing and spirit chi pills. It would be even better if there are rank 5 pills. Rank 4 and below pills are not a problem, but rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs require a lot of time to cultivate. You also know that the Yan kingdom has only been established for a short time, and we have cultivated very few rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs. The rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs that we have are all purchased from various forces. It is not a problem to sell a portion of them to the Ice Plains demon race. However, it is beyond our ability to sell in large quantities. As for rank 5 spirit herbs, the Yen kingdom is powerless. Beiyuan Xiaoxian's spirit qi has just recovered to rank 5. Even the spirit herbs that have regressed to the peak of rank 4 are difficult to break through to rank 5 in such a short time. In the entire Beiyuan Xiaoxian, only the retired emperor of the Yen kingdom has some rank 5 spirit herbs, and the raw materials are all rank 5 spirit herbs found overseas. Han Jiao smiled. It is not bad to have some rank 3 and rank 4 spirit herbs, but the quantity must be more. There are many rank 3 and rank 4 demons on both sides, and there are too few spirit herbs. It is not useful. Just as Wang Mingkong was about to speak, Xian Yu asked, I heard that the retired emperor of the Yen kingdom is skilled in refining. He can use rank 4 materials to refine rank 5 magic artifacts. I wonder if you can sell some rank 5 magic artifacts to the Ice Plains demon race? Han Jiao was almost angered to death by this wooden club. The physical body of a human was far inferior to that of a demon race. Magic artifacts were an important means for humans to make up for the lack of physical body. If he sold rank 5 magic artifacts to the demon race, he would be selling his trump card. It was good enough to buy some rank 4 magic artifacts, but he wanted rank 5 magic artifacts and asked the retired emperor of the Yen kingdom to do it personally. Even if Ice Flood Dragon came personally, he would not dare to ask. How can a bastard like you be so shameless? Chapter 959. Wang Mingchen looked at Xian Yu coldly. Is the Black Tortoise bloodline going to go extinct? Why are they sending everyone here? My father is the most powerful person in Beiyuan Xiaoxian. Even the great demon king of your demon race has to be courteous to my father. You're just a 4th rank upper-class demon. What right do you have to order my father around? Xian Yu immediately realized that he had said something wrong. However, he was from the Black Tortoise bloodline. Eating scales was a skill passed down from his ancestors. His stubbornness flared up. He refused to admit his mistake. Han Jiao was afraid that something big would happen. He quickly said, Xian Yu is clumsy and doesn't know how to speak. Although his words offended the retired emperor, it was an unintentional mistake. I hope your majesty won't blame him. Wang Shi snorted. It's not surprising that demons don't know how to be polite. However, 4th rank demons are not inferior to humans. The Arctic ice plains is vast and there should be many 4th rank demons. You can't even find one who knows how to speak. Han Jiao was very embarrassed. There were many demons who knew how to be polite. However, the Black Tortoise bloodline was rare and they were all stubborn. It was very difficult to find one who knew how to be polite. In the Arctic ice plains, the Black Tortoise bloodline had a high status. How could there not be a Black Tortoise bloodline demon present to discuss such a big matter? Han Jiao had no choice but to bite the bullet and say, the Black Tortoise bloodline is a little eccentric. It's inevitable that they don't know how to be polite. This is just his mistake. It doesn't represent the Arctic ice plains demon race. Xian Yu, I'll discuss the rest. You don't have to say anything. Wang Mingchen waved his hand. I won't affect the relationship between our two families over such a small matter. It's not convenient for the Yen kingdom to interfere with the internal affairs of the demon race. Our cooperation can only be done on the commercial level. Wanchuan Chamber of Commerce can handle this. I'll leave the rest to my brother to discuss with you. Han Jiao wanted to ask the Yen kingdom to sell more precious spiritual items. Now that Xian Yu had interfered, it was good that the Yen kingdom was willing to continue the discussion. Regardless of whether the items were good or bad, if they could buy more, it would increase the strength of the Arctic ice plains demon race. He clasped his hands and bid farewell to Wang Mingchen before leaving the Imperial Extreme Hall with Xian Yu and Wang Mingkong. After the human and the 2 demons walked away, Wang Mingchen heaved a sigh of relief. It's said that demons aren't good at playing mind games. It seems that this saying is unreliable. They can even think of dragging the Yen kingdom into the water to take the blow for them. It seems that there are experts among the demons. The Yao clan's wishful thinking was very good, but unfortunately, those who had the ability did not dare to show up. They could only send out a second-rate Frost Jiao and a useless Xianyu. Wang Shi smiled and said, "It's not bad to do business with Shanbei. We can set the price higher. When the demon race doesn't have enough spirit stones, they can only sell large amounts of the local products of the Arctic ice plains in exchange for our resources." The spirit herbs produced in the extreme cold ice field were very beneficial in improving one's spiritual sense. It was really difficult to find such spirit herbs in other places. With our resources, the strength of the ice field demon race will also increase. The more they fight and the more they consume, the better it is for the development of the Yen Kingdom. After we fully understand the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts, we will have a few more Yuanian cultivators. We can try to completely eliminate the Sky Beheading Mountain Range's demons like the Valley of Beasts and occupy the entire Sky Beheading Mountain Range. In the Chamberlain of Dependencies, Minister Wang Mingshan and Vice President Wang Mingkong of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce began to discuss the expansion of their business with Frost Jiao and Xianyu. Wang Mingshan did not care about the business, and Xianyu had no right to speak. The two of them were just side characters. Both sides had no objections to the sale of elixirs, Dharma artifacts, and spirit talismans that were grade 3 and below. Soon, everything was settled. The demons of the Arctic ice plains agreed that they could buy as much as the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce could ship over. Array discs were useless. The Yen Kingdom would not sell grade 5 array discs. Grade 4 array discs were vulnerable in front of grade 5 demons. Both sides had some disputes about grade 4 spirit items. The Yen Kingdom agreed to sell a small amount of grade 4 elixirs and Dharma artifacts. The grade 4 Dharma artifacts were simple offensive and defensive Dharma artifacts. Artifacts that were more complicated or had extremely high value would definitely not be sold. Frost Jiao asked indirectly if the Yen Kingdom could sell grade 3 flying boats. Although grade 3 flying boats could not directly participate in the battle like flying warships, they were much slower. However, in terms of transporting manpower, they were not inferior to flying warships. On the contrary, because the boat was lighter, it consumed less energy. If the demons had a large number of flying boats, the humans would not be able to defend against them. Doing this business was no different from selling one's ancestral grave. No matter what conditions Frost Jiao offered, Wang Mingkong rejected it. After 2 days of discussion, they only reached an agreement. The humans would sell grade 3 elixirs, Dharma artifacts, and spirit talismans in bulk. They would only sell a small amount of grade 4 elixirs and Dharma artifacts, but not spirit talismans. Seeing that the Yen Kingdom was determined, Frost Jiao did not continue to dawdle. Both sides reached an agreement. The demons of the Arctic ice plains would purchase the goods of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce at double the market price. The transportation of goods would naturally be done by the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce. The Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce also decided to set up a branch in Snow Dragon City and send a capable person to be the branch president to manage the business between the Chamber of Commerce and the demons of the Arctic ice plains. Wang Mingshan was also worried that cooperating with the demons would affect the reputation of the Yen Kingdom. The imperial court of the Yen Kingdom did not stand on the stage. Instead, they used the name of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce to do business with the demons of the Arctic ice plains. After Wang Mingkong finished his discussion with the demons, Frost Jiao and Xianyu boarded the flying boat of the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce and returned to Snow Dragon City. Wang Daoyuan was still in disguise in Snow Dragon City. Since they had made a fortune from the last hunt, Silver Jiao and the other two did not plan to do anything in the short term. Wang Daoyuan used cultivation as an excuse to stay in the small courtyard all day. At this moment, a communication jade talisman on his body lit up. He took out the communication jade talisman and said with a smile, "The business is done. The demons of the Arctic ice plains will definitely make a big move." Not long after, Silver Jiao and the other two drunkenly returned to the small courtyard. Once Silver Jiao entered the small courtyard, he shouted, "Brother Jin Lin, the three of us went out to drink. We heard good news." Wang Daoyuan walked out of the room. "Brother Silver Jiao, what good news?" The city lord has announced that he wants to establish the Snow Dragon Army and the Xuanwu Army and is recruiting talents. Demons and half-demons with dragon bloodline can join the Snow Dragon Army without taking the test as long as their cultivation has reached the third level of the lower class or the early stage of the Violet Palace realm. Moreover, once you enter the Snow Dragon Army, you can become a small leader. Needless to say, even if there is no war, you will receive a salary of 5,000 spirit stones a month. If you can make contributions, you will be rewarded with a large amount of spirit stones. The demons you hunt can be sold at market price. This way, if we join the Snow Dragon Army, we will not only earn spirit stones from hunting demons, but we will also receive a salary and rewards for free. Cultivators without dragon bloodline can also join the Snow Dragon Army as long as they are strong enough. After the two of us enter the Snow Dragon Army and become leaders, we will be able to pull in Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan. The four brothers will be together and can take care of each other. Oh right, isn't there a problem with your cultivation method? As long as you can make contributions in the Snow Dragon Army, the higher-ups may reward you with cultivation methods. After hearing this news, Wang Daoyuan thought to himself, the demons of the ice plains want to recruit soldiers and buy horses to expand their strength. After negotiating a deal with the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild, they will be able to obtain more resources. Then they will recruit soldiers and buy horses to expand their strength. When the Snow Dragon Army and the Xuanwu Army have recruited enough people, they will attack the demons of the sky beheading mountain range. He had not come to the extreme frozen ice plains to help the demons fight, but to catch spirit demons. Spirit demons like to appear in places where demons were about to die. Once the two demon races wantonly fought, the number of casualties would be large, and the possibility of attracting spirit demons would be high. Thinking of this, he should actively participate. There is such a good thing. I can get a lot of spirit stones for free, and I might even get a suitable cultivation method. I cannot miss this opportunity. Chapter 960. Seeing Wang Daoyuan agree, Silver Flood Dragon was overjoyed. It's good that Brother Jin Lin agrees. If the four of us join the Snow Dragon Army, we'll be able to look after each other. Right now, the notice has just been posted, and many people haven't made up their minds. There shouldn't be many people willing to join the Snow Dragon Army. If we go now, the Snow Dragon Army might give us better conditions in order to recruit more people. Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't have any objections. Even if the Yao played some tricks, what could they do to him? Even if the Grand Yao Kings of the Icy Plains came out, they would be nothing more than food. If we can find a good position, we'll be able to accumulate merits faster in the future. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. If the two of us go first, we'll definitely pass. After we find a position, we'll recommend Xiong Shan and Jin Jiao. As long as they pass, the two of us will be able to contribute and perhaps even receive a reward. Wang Daoyuan naturally didn't have any objections. He followed Silver Flood Dragon out of the courtyard, arriving near the City Master's mansion at the center of the city. To the west of the City Master's mansion was a military camp. This was originally where the city guard of Snow Dragon City was stationed. Right now, the city guard had been split into two, one for the Snow Dragon Army and the other for the Xuanwu Army. In the future, when the Snow Dragon Army was stationed here, they would naturally recruit people here as well. Wang Daoyuan and Silver Flood Dragon arrived at the entrance of the military camp. There was a small room here, and on the wall next to the door was a recruitment notice. The two of them entered the room. The furnishings inside were extremely simple. There were only 2 tables, one of which had a large pile of storage pouches on it. There were more than 300 of them. There were 3 other people in the room. One of them was an early-stage Zifu disciple, while the other 2 were late-stage Zifu disciple. The scholar asked, "Have the 2 of you come to join the Snow Dragon Army?" Silver Flood Dragon replied, "Yes. Take out your medallions to prove your identities. After I register you, you will be official members of the Snow Dragon Army." Wang Daoyuan and Silver Flood Dragon took out their medallions. When the scholars saw their dragon medallions, he immediately revealed a respectful expression. The two of you have dragon blood. According to the city master's orders, Hafya with dragon blood will have to join the Snow Dragon army, at least be a 10-man commander. Now that there was a shortage of manpower, this position was temporarily empty. However, the salary was real. It would be even better if the two of you could recruit people on your own. Before that, please reveal your dragon chi to verify your identities. This was naturally not a problem for Wang Daoyuan. His own dragon blood was extremely thin and could almost be regarded as non-existent. However, after cultivating the true dragon body tempering art for so many years, he had absorbed too much dragon chi, so releasing some of it was not a difficult task. Soon, both of them were enveloped by a layer of dragon chi. This scholar did not have the bloodline of the dragon race, so he naturally could not sense it. However, the two burly men beside him were true dragons. One of the muscular men nodded. Indeed, they all have the bloodline of the dragon clan, especially this golden scale Daoyu. His dragon chi is extremely pure. His dragon clan bloodline should have come directly from a true dragon, not from a flood dragon or other dragon species. Jin Lin Daoyu, you also have the bloodline of the dragon race, and you are also part of the Snow Dragon army. Please take care of me in the future. For cultivators like the Silver Flood Dragon, their dragon blood came from dragons. Not only did they have the bloodline of humans and dragons, but they also had the bloodline of snakes and crocodiles. This kind of bloodline was rather heterogeneous, so it was a bit lacking for them to cultivate the techniques and spells of the dragon clan. If they really had the bloodline of the true dragon and cultivated the techniques and spells of the dragon clan, their power would not be inferior to that of a flood dragon. We don't dare. In the future, we will have to rely on Daoyu's support. The scholar quickly finished the registration. The other muscular man took out 2 storage bags and gave them to the two. The storage bags contained 10,000 spirit stones for settling in. The two of you have the bloodline of the dragon clan, so you will receive 5,000 more than the other half-beasts. As for your positions, we cannot make the decision. The Snow Dragon Army's general is in the camp, you can go in and greet him now. With brother Jin Lin's bloodline of the true dragon, you will definitely be appreciated by the general. The two took the storage bags and walked out of the small room, entering the camp. The camp was 200 feet wide and there were small rooms on all sides. There was a large empty space in the center, which should be the gathering place. Soon, a late-stage Zifu disciple dressed in silver armor walked forward. Are you new members of the Snow Dragon Army? The Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly replied, we just registered outside. We have the bloodline of the Dragon clan and need the general to arrange positions for us. Follow me. The two of them followed the armored cultivator to the deepest part of the camp. There was a fairly spacious room here. The armored cultivator cupped his hands in front of the door and said, General, 2 dragon bloodline half-beasts have joined the Snow Dragon Army. A loud voice sounded from inside. Let them in. The two of them walked into the house and saw a dignified man wearing bright silver armor in the house. This person was at the mid-golden core stage. His hair and beard were ice blue, and there were 2 forked ice blue dragon horns on his forehead. The dense draconic aura he emitted showed that he was definitely not a half-beast, but a flood dragon with an extremely pure bloodline. He glanced at the two and then his gaze stopped on Wang Daoyuan. What a powerful body, and your aura is quite extraordinary. It actually makes me feel a trace of respect. It seems that your ancestor must have had a high status in the dragon clan. It's a pity that your cultivation is only at the mid-Zifu disciple stage. If you were at the peak of the Zifu disciple stage, it wouldn't be a problem for you to become a captain. After saying this, he took out a silver command medallion. How about this? You'll be a centurion for now. Your monthly salary will be 7,000 spirit stones. The Snow Dragon Army has just been established and doesn't have many people. Although you have the position of a centurion, you don't have any subordinates. I'll give you the authority to recruit people on your own. If you fancy someone, register them at the entrance of the camp and they'll all be under your command. As for the 10 decurions under your command, you can arrange them as you see fit. However, I have a request. The decurions have to be at least at the late Zifu disciple stage. It's even better if they have the bloodline of the dragon clan. This flood dragon seemed to think quite highly of him. He was given the position of a centurion as soon as he arrived, and he even had the authority to appoint decurions. This was clearly an attempt to recruit people and increase his own strength. It seemed that the demon clan was very similar to the demon clan and that they also fought for power. Wang Daoyuan pretended to be moved to tears and bowed. Thank you for your appreciation, General. The Snow Dragon Army's commander had a satisfied expression. If an ordinary half-demon received such treatment, they would have knelt down and pledged their loyalty. You're still so calm even after receiving such treatment. As expected of someone with the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. My name is Bing Ho. If you have any trouble in Snow Dragon City, feel free to look for me. Your companion also has the bloodline of the Dragon Clan and his cultivation has reached the late Zifu disciple stage. He's more than qualified to be a decurion. He'll be under you. He then took out 10 black command medallions. These are the command medallions for decurions. Engrave the name of whoever you want to appoint as decurion and register them at the entrance. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands in acknowledgement and left Bing Ho's room with the silver flood dragon. He couldn't help but sigh. The demon clan was so gullible. They believed him so easily. If they really wanted to deal with the demon clan, they could have recruited a group of Zifu disciples from the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild. At that time, it would have been easy to turn the Snow Dragon Army into subordinates of the Myriad Rivers Merchant Guild. The Silver Flood Dragon sent a message to Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan. Not long after, the two arrived at the entrance of the camp. Wang Daoyuan took out 3 black command medallions and engraved the names of the 3 people on them. Then, the 4 of them entered the small room where the registration was done. After taking out the command medallions, the scholar hurriedly stood up and bowed. Greetings, Lord Centurion. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. No need for formalities. General Bing Ho has appointed me as a centurion and has given me the authority to appoint decurions. My 3 brothers have reached the required cultivation and have been appointed as decurions. Quickly register them. The scholar repeatedly acknowledged and recorded the identities of the 4 people. Chapter 961. After registering, the 4 came to the Hidden Dragon restaurant and ordered a table of good wine and dishes. Silver Dragon raised his wine bowl and toasted to Wang Daoyuan. Congratulations to Brother Jean Lin for becoming a centurion of the Snow Dragon Army. In the future, we 3 brothers will have to thank you for taking care of us. Wang Daoyuan also raised his wine bowl. We are brothers, there is no need to say these things. If not for Brother Silver Dragon's reminder, would not have joined the Snow Dragon Army. I should be the one toasting you. After saying that, the 2 of them drank the wine in one gulp. Then, Jin Jiao and Xiong Shan also raised their wine bowls to Wang Daoyuan. After all, they did not have the bloodline of the dragon race. After joining the Snow Dragon Army, they would most likely be ordinary soldiers. Although their cultivation was enough to be a decurion, the position of a decurion was given priority to half-demons with dragon blood. Even if they were lucky enough to get this position, they would not be liked by the higher-ups. If there was danger, they would definitely be sent to their deaths. Now that they had Wang Daoyuan, a centurion, as their backer, their lives were more stable. Wang Daoyuan also raised his wine bowl and drank with the 2 of them. Then, they did not pay attention to who toasted who and just drank without thinking. The 4 drank until they were a little dizzy. Then, they supported each other and returned to the small courtyard. Of course, Wang Daoyuan was pretending to be drunk. Ever since he refined the 5 elements spiritual fire, as long as it was not something outside of the 5 elements, even ordinary poisons would be quickly refined by the spiritual fire. Just a few jars of wine would instantly turn into pure spiritual power when they saw the spiritual fire. After joining the Snow Dragon Army, there was nothing to do. Cultivators did not like to be restrained. An army formed by cultivators was also rarely drilled. Moreover, the Snow Dragon army was formed by half-demons and half-demons. These things had a violent temperament and were wild and hard to tame. They could not be trained well. After Wang Daoyuan and the other three joined the Snow Dragon army, they would report to the barracks every month. If they wanted to cultivate in seclusion, they could apply not to report. As long as they did not leave the Snow Dragon city, anything was fine. Wang Daoyuan was not in the mood to recruit more people, so he asked Silver Flood Dragon and the other two to find some loose half-demon cultivators to join them. In any case, this identity of his was just a cover to avoid being too conspicuous while roaming around the frozen icy plains. To deal with a difficult opponent like the spirit demon, no one else could help. Moreover, with his status in the human race, he had no choice but to accept it. If he really wanted to find someone to help him, it wouldn't be a problem to call over the sect masters of the other four top forces. There was no point in recruiting a few Zifu disciples. Wang Daoyuan was also happy to be free. With the excuse that he was in seclusion to make a breakthrough, he didn't need to report to the barracks. After more than a year of leisure, the Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly ran into his house. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Why is Brother Silver Flood Dragon so flustered?" "General Ice Fiend is summoning all centurions and cultivators above to the barracks for a meeting. You are also on the list. Something big must have happened for the commander to gather so many people." Wang Daoyuan did not dare to delay and immediately set off for the barracks. After entering the barracks, a cultivator in armor immediately came forward. This person clasped his hands towards Wang Daoyuan. "Lord Jin Lin, the general has been waiting for a long time. Please follow me." Wang Daoyuan followed behind him and came to an underground secret room in the depths of the military camp. There were already more than 10 people here, including General Ice Fiend. Without waiting for him to bow, Ice Fiend said, "Since Jin Lin is here, everyone is here. Left Field Officer, tell us about our plan." The Snow Dragon army had originally planned to recruit 1,000 people, divided into 1,000 squads, but they were not full yet. The entire Snow Dragon army was divided into left and right fields. Each field officer led 500 squads, each with a field officer. The left field officers were all monsters, while the right field officers were all half-monsters. This left field officer was a 4th-rank low-class monster with a single horn on his head. He should also be a dragon, but his dragon blood was relatively thin. The left field officer stood up and said, "The monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range have always been fighting with us for territory, but most of the west of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range has already been taken over by the human race. They do not have much territory in the west of the main mountain range, so it is inconvenient to transport resources from the east. Thus, most of the monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range have already retreated to the east of the main mountain range. There are only a few 3rd and 4th rank monsters in the west of the main mountain range that were not able to retreat in time. Our ice field monster race blocked them for a while, so they did not have a chance to retreat. They could only hide in various places and struggle at death's door. 50 to 60,000 miles north of here, the height of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range is less than 10,000 feet. The peak of the mountain is below the 9 heavens astral wind layer. 4th-rank monsters and 3rd-rank monsters can easily cross the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. When we get there, the name of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range will be changed to Hidden Dragon Mountain. That is where the monsters of the Ice Field Monster Race and the monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range are fighting over. Our Snow Dragon Army's mission in the future is to support Hidden Dragon Mountain at any time. Of course, the Snow Dragon Army has just been formed, so there is not much cooperation between them. Bringing them to Hidden Dragon Mountain is no different from sending them to their deaths. Half-monsters are not easy to manage, and monsters are even harder to manage. They cannot be trained like human cultivators, so we can only fight in place of training. The Grand Monster King sent people to investigate Hot Spring Valley 10,000 miles northeast of Snow Dragon City. There are many monsters of the Sky Beheading Mountain Range gathered there. The preliminary investigation found that there are 5 4th-rank monsters and more than 100 3rd-rank monsters. This strength is neither strong nor weak. It is perfect for our Snow Dragon army and Xuanwu army to practice. The city lord has already ordered the Snow Dragon army and Xuanwu army to move out in 3 days to flatten the hot spring valley. The left field officer sat down and Biyao continued, our Snow Dragon army has more than 200 third-rank monsters in the left field officer, and more than 100 half-monsters in the right field officer. The Xuanwu army has less people, but there are about 200 monsters and half-monsters in total. The two armies have 6 fourth-rank monsters and more than 500 third-rank monsters, far more than the monsters of the Hot Spring Valley. When you return, immediately gather your subordinates and promise to move out in 3 days. Remember, our goal must not be revealed. Wang Daoyuan and the other centurions had only come to listen to orders. Now that the orders had been given, they left. After returning to the small courtyard, he asked the Silver Flood Dragon, how many people have you recruited? The Silver Flood Dragon replied, if you don't appear, it will be difficult for me, a mere decurion, to recruit people. Fortunately, I've made many friends in the past few years, and I've also recruited 20 or so half-monsters. They're all mid and early Zifu realm. The Snow Dragon army had 5 centurions in the right field officer, so there were only a little over 100 of them. His 20 or so subordinates wouldn't be too much of a burden. This number is enough. Tell the brothers to gather at the barracks in 3 days. Wang Daoyuan had gone to the barracks to discuss matters and gather people. This was clearly the general's intention. The Silver Flood Dragon didn't dare to ask too much. Brother Jean Lin, don't worry. Although I haven't recruited many people, they'll all listen to orders. They'll all arrive at the barracks in 3 days. Wang Daoyuan nodded and didn't say anything else. 3 days passed quickly, and Wang Daoyuan brought the Silver Flood Dragon and the other 2 to the barracks. Soon, the people the Silver Flood Dragon had recruited slowly gathered. Half a day later, everyone was gathered. The Frost Dragon General said at the center of the barracks, the centurions already know what we're going to do. The demons of the left field officer are all in spirit beast pouches. As for the half-monsters of the right field officer, I've prepared a few wind-riding eagles for you. Then, 3 high-grade level 3 wind-riding eagles descended from the sky. These wind-riding eagles were rather large and had a wingspan of 20 meters. It wasn't a problem for them to carry a few dozen people. Wang Daoyuan brought his subordinates and flew onto the back of one of the wind-riding eagles. The Imperial Wind Eagle carried 200-man teams. It flapped its wings and headed northeast. The other 2 Imperial Wind Eagles followed closely behind. One of the wind-riding eagles had many spirit beast pouches on it. These spirit beast pouches contained the demons of the left field officer. Although the wind-riding eagle was only at the high grade of level 3, it was extremely fast and could fly close to 10,000 kilometers in 2 hours. 3 hours later, the wind-riding eagle arrived above the Hot Spring Valley. 4 4th-level demons and 2 early-stage Golden Core half-demons had also arrived at the same time. Chapter 962. Hot Spring Valley wasn't an ordinary valley. It was huge at the bottom, but there was only a small crack at the top. From the looks of it, it was probably formed by the collapse of an underground river or a karst cave. Such a place was the best for hiding. It wasn't easy to find out how many demon beasts were hiding down there. Since Biyao and the others knew how many demon beasts were down there, there was probably a spy among the demon beasts. Perhaps because of the hot spring, there wasn't much snow around, and the crack was emitting hot air. Biyao turned into an ice-blue flood dragon. This guy's dragon bloodline was relatively pure. Other than his dragon claws, he was basically no different from a true dragon. It was said that this guy was a direct descendant of the ice flood dragon king of the Arctic ice plains. Then his strength should be at the top among the same level of dragon species. Wang Xianlong was definitely inferior to the 2 dragonfish of the Wang family. Wang Minglong had the hell dragon bloodline and was stronger than ordinary dragons. When he grew up, there was hope for him to compete with him. The ice-blue flood dragon roared, rank 4 demon beasts and golden core half-demon beasts attacked together and break the array inside. The demons in the hot spring valley don't have much contact with humans, so the array can't be that strong. Then, he opened his mouth and spat out a gust of cold wind. When the cold wind entered the hot spring valley, there was moist heat coming out of the valley entrance. But when the cold wind blew, it instantly turned into countless snowflakes and slowly drifted down. The demons in the valley quickly reacted. A powerful wave of spiritual power appeared and blocked the cold wind. With Wang Daoyuan's strength, he could naturally see that this was a defensive array. But its grade wasn't very high, only rank 4 inferior grade. The array was also very crude and couldn't withstand continuous attacks. If a human attacked such an array, any rank 3 array master would be able to find the flaw and break it with one attack. Demons and half-demons weren't very good at alchemy, artifacts, and talisman arrays. The half-demons with divine beast bloodlines were as talented as most humans. But this half-demon beast bloodline wasn't like the flood dragon bloodline like the silver flood dragon. Its bloodline came directly from a divine beast. Just like Zhou, Qin, and Chu, their bloodline came directly from pure-blooded phoenixes and true dragons without any other demon beast bloodline. Their talent in all aspects was not inferior to humans. Although half-demons like the silver flood dragon also had dragon blood, it came from the flood dragon and its bloodline was mixed. Other than his physical body, his talent in all other aspects was average. These fellows didn't have the ability to break the formation with skills, so they could only rely on brute force. Then, a burly man in a black robe turned into a giant tortoise. He also opened his mouth and spat out a gust of cold air, which was mixed with ice swords. He should be the main general of the Xuanwu army, Xian Jian. He was also at the 4th level of cultivation and was the representative of the Xuanwu bloodline in Snow Dragon City. Under their joint efforts, the formation below was already on the verge of collapse. At this moment, another one-horned flood dragon and a slightly weaker tortoise soared into the sky and attacked the formation. After half a cup of tea's time, the ground nearby began to shake. The sound of rocks shattering could be heard as the defensive light barrier collapsed. The ice-hornless dragon shouted, "Follow me and kill." The demonic beasts that were previously in the spirit beast pouch came out one after another and rushed to the entrance of the valley. Wang Daoyuan and the half-demons also dismounted from the wind-riding eagle and flew to the entrance of the valley on their swords. The demonic beasts in the hot spring valley were determined not to show themselves. Not a single one of them came out to meet the enemy when the formation was broken. The demonic beasts and half-demons of the Xuanwu army and the Xuanwu army smoothly entered the hot spring valley. Wang Daoyuan led more than 20 half-demons and entered the valley through the entrance. Below the entrance was a valley that was 400 to 500 zhang wide and 10,000 zhang tall. The main body of the valley was not long, only 20 to 30 li. At the bottom of the valley, there were several hot springs that emitted large amounts of hot water. With the adjustment of the hot springs, the climate here was not bad. Even mortals could live and reproduce here. This valley was indeed formed by the collapse of a cave. There were many forks in the stone walls. There were no traces of demonic beasts in the valley, but there were many traces of demonic beasts on these forks. They should have been hidden in the caves. The ice-hornless dragon discussed with the Xuanwu bloodline for a while, then said, "The left and right captains of the Xuanwu army, take your subordinates and search the east side of the valley." The Xuanwu bloodline also ordered the left and right captains of the Xuanwu army to search the west side of the valley. Wang Daoyuan's right captain of the Xuanwu army followed the right captain and searched the east side of the valley in a cave. After entering the cave, they found clear signs of man-made carvings, and many signs of hot spring water. A long time ago, there should have been humans or half-demons living in this place. These things were definitely not the work of the demonic beasts. They could destroy things, but they could not build things. At the start, the cave was very narrow, but the deeper they went, the wider the cave became. After 100 li, formations began to appear in the cave. Of course, these were not high-level formations. There were only a few formations that could prevent spiritual sense, and a few low-level illusion formations and trapping formations. In front of the two captains, these formations could not withstand a single blow. After going more than 10 li into the cave, enormous rocks suddenly fell from the sky. There were also many sharp stone pillars that suddenly protruded from the ground or the walls. These methods were rather interesting. They seemed to be using formations to cast spells. The formations were not strong, only high grade level 3. However, the person controlling the formation was not weak and could exert a considerable amount of power. These spells were just small tricks in front of Wang Daoyuan, and he easily dodged them. However, the demonic beasts and half-demons did not have such an easy time. The half-demons were better off as they had all learned escape techniques. Moreover, these half-demons that joined the Xuanwu army were all wandering cultivators. Which one of them could cultivate to the Violet Palace realm in the extreme frost icy plains? With just a few small spells from the demon race, they really couldn't hurt them. The demonic beasts, on the other hand, had a harder time. Their spells relied on their bloodline, and many demonic beasts did not have escape techniques. In this relatively narrow passage, their movements were also greatly restricted. In just a few breaths, the left captain had lost more than 20 demonic beasts, and more than 10 were injured. On the other hand, the half-demons were unharmed, and only 2 or 3 were injured. The two captains couldn't just stand by and watch. The left captain shouted, "All monsters and half-monsters, move forward quickly and cross this distance." Then, the two captains led the charge, and the demonic beasts and half-demons followed closely behind. From time to time, there would be earthen walls, boulders, and other obstacles along the way. However, the two captains were quite strong and easily destroyed these obstacles. After charging for less than 10 li, the scenery changed greatly. This was not a narrow passage, but a completely different world. This was a space with a radius of more than 100 li. There were large amounts of spirit plants growing on the ground, and even some forests. There were night pearls above the space for light. Although this was not a secret realm, it was similar to one. Everyone entered the space, and before they could relax, the ground suddenly shook. Soon, huge cracks appeared on the ground, and all kinds of spells were flying towards them. The demonic beasts and half-demons were used to being undisciplined. Now that they encountered danger, they disregarded the two captains' orders and scattered. The two captains couldn't just watch their subordinates scatter. The right captain shouted, "Right captain, the half-fiends scatter and cast spells to protect themselves. There are far fewer enemies than us, so there's nothing to be afraid of." After saying that, he cast a spell and attacked the place where the spell came from. Wang Daoyuan also quickly dodged. Because his cultivation was low, he did not attract many attacks. A few spells attacked, but they were all easily dodged. Now that everyone was scattered, the spells that came from the dark were not very destructive. Soon, a burly man in a yellow robe walked out of the forest. "We've been hiding in the hot spring and have never attacked the demonic beasts. Why are you forcing us?" Chapter 963. This man's identity couldn't be hidden from Wang Daoyuan. He was a mountain-shaking bull, an earth-type demon beast. His cultivation wasn't low as he was already a mid-grade 4th-level demon beast. However, the mountain-shaking bull wasn't a very strong demon beast. The highest he could reach was a high-grade 4th-level demon beast. There had never been a 5th-level mountain-shaking bull. If they fought, they might not be a match for Zhua Chaowei's flood dragon. Zhua Chaowei smiled. The two demon beasts have been fighting for generations. Maybe you haven't killed the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains, but what about your ancestors? If you continue to exist, won't your descendants kill the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains? The blood feud between the two sides is uncountable. If we don't fight to the death, there won't be an end. The mountain-shaking bull sighed. The demon beasts here are willing to surrender to the demon beasts of the frozen ice plains. I only ask that you let us live. We're no different from the demon beasts of the northern mountains. If you can accept the demon beasts of the northern mountains, can't you accept us as well? We're indeed no different, but it's the Grand Demon King's order to exterminate you. I'm only a mid-grade demon beast of the frozen ice plains. I can only carry out orders. Then, he stretched out his right hand, and a black dragon claw shadow flew out and grabbed at the mountain-shaking bull. A dragon roar sounded and a green light flashed, shattering the dragon claw. A green flood dragon flew out from the forest behind the mountain-shaking bull. This flood dragon was also a low-grade 4th-level demon beast. Its bloodline wasn't very pure. It only had a horn on its head and its tail was bald. It was about the same as Wuxia's dragon blood. The green flood dragon smiled. You're from the same clan. With your strength, you can't take us down. You should leave. We can leave this place. We're all demons, so there's no need to kill us all. The snow dragon army couldn't take advantage of the situation. Wuxia was at most on par with the green flood dragon. Although Wuxia was a half-demon beast with dragon blood, he was only at the early stage of the Golden Core realm. Wuxia obviously didn't care about the remaining demon beasts of the Hot Spring Valley. He didn't explain anything and directly revealed his flood dragon true form and attacked the green flood dragon. Wuxia couldn't just stand by and watch. He also attacked the mountain-shaking bull. The Zifu disciples naturally didn't dare to get involved in a battle between 4 Golden Core combatants. Wang Daoyuan and his subordinates retreated dozens of miles away, quietly observing the battle. The combat strength of the Golden Core cultivators of both sides was basically equal. The 2 flood dragons had the same cultivation level and bloodline, so they were completely tied. After all, the right field commandant's cultivation base was slightly lower. He was slightly at a disadvantage when facing the rank 4 middle-grade mountain-shaking bull. If the mountain-shaking bull wanted to win, it would definitely not be an easy task. However, as a half-demon, he could use all kinds of human methods. Seeing that he wasn't panicking at all, he might have some powerful backup plan. They could maintain the situation now, but when both sides ran out of spiritual energy, they would reveal their flaws. At that time, the right field lieutenant would be able to heavily injure or even kill the mountain-shaking bull. The 2 sides fought for an hour, and the 4 Gold Core stage cultivator's state of battle had somewhat declined. The speed at which he cast spells, as well as the power of his spells, had clearly decreased. Right field commandant's cultivation base was not as high as mountain-shaking bull's, so he was at an even greater disadvantage now. The mountain-shaking bull naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity and attacked even more viciously. He turned into a khaki-colored light and instantly appeared beside the right field commandant. His horns suddenly crashed over. The right field commandant couldn't dodge in time and could only block with his heavy sword. The strength of his heavy sword Dharma artifact wasn't weak. It actually didn't break after receiving the full force of the mountain-shaking bull's attack. Although his stomach wasn't directly cut open by the bull's horns, the mountain-shaking bull's valiant strength still sent him flying. He crashed heavily into the stone wall behind him, and spiderweb-like cracks appeared on the hard rock. After the right field commandant landed, he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. It was obvious that his injuries weren't light. The mountain-shaking bull naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity. He turned into a khaki-colored light again and charged towards him. The left field commandant wanted to go and rescue him, but he was firmly entangled by the green flood dragon. Seeing that the mountain-shaking bull was about to crash into him, the right field commandant revealed a strange smile. He took out a black gourd. Judging from the spiritual energy waves, this gourd was an upper-grade rank 4 Dharma artifact. The mountain-shaking bull was also shocked. He hurriedly changed his direction, wanting to distance himself. However, the right field commandant didn't give him the chance. 3 rays of black light shot out from the gourd. The black light was extremely fast. The mountain-shaking bull couldn't dodge in time, and the black light pierced through his heart. At this moment, the black light revealed its true appearance. These 3 rays of black light were 3 black short swords. They were all upper-grade rank 4 Dharma artifacts. Normally, they were stored in the Dharma artifact nurturing gourd. At the crucial moment, they were quite powerful. The mountain-shaking bull's death was easy to imagine. There were 3 bloody holes on his body, and blood was constantly gushing out. His eyes were wide open, and there was an expression of disbelief. After 3 breaths, the mountain-shaking bull died. The left field commandant was overjoyed. Go and find all the demons below rank 4. Other than the cubs, don't leave a single one alive. Whoever kills the demon beast will keep the corpse. Hearing this, the snow dragon army immediately became excited and charged towards the forest in the deepest part of the space. Wang Daoyuan also followed the crowd and led his half-beasts to charge forward. There weren't many demons here. There were only 20 or so rank 3 demons and a few hundred rank 2 demons. However, they didn't find any demon beast cubs. They might be hiding somewhere else. These demons were naturally unable to withstand a single blow from the snow dragon army. In less than 100 breaths, they were all killed. The left field commandant laughed coldly. Are you still planning to resist? Although the right field commandant is heavily injured, he has already taken a healing pill. He will recover some strength in a short time. You already used all your strength to deal with me. Do you still have the ability to block the flying swords? Although the Grand Yao King ordered to kill you, you are still a dragon. Dragon species have a high status in the extreme frost plains and cannot be easily killed. As long as you are willing to surrender, keeping your life is not a problem. Who knows, you might even be able to become a field commandant in the future. The sky-chopping mountain range is controlled by the Phoenix race. You probably don't have any status. Why do you still work for them? Green Flood Dragon pulled away and sighed. Since it has come to this, I have no other way out. I am willing to surrender to the extreme Frost Plains demon race. The left field commandant nodded. Since you have already surrendered, I have no right to punish you. The Snow Dragon Army's General Ice Dragon General is outside. He will decide how to punish you. After speaking, he brought Green Flood Dragon out. A few of the right field commandant's trusted aides cut down spiritual wood to make a stretcher and carried him out. Wang Daoyuan carried the corpse of a rank 3 intermediate wolf demon and left the underground space with the others. At this moment, he suddenly felt something strange behind him. He released a bit of his divine sense to investigate but did not find anything. After careful investigation, he found that the soul of the dead demon was gone. Although the cultivation technique he cultivated belonged to the righteous Tao, he had also learned a lot of evil cultivation techniques. He still had the ability to sense souls. After a living being with a soul died, the soul would leave the body and temporarily stay at the place where it died. The soul would be muddle-headed and would not run around. It would dissipate and enter the cycle of reincarnation after 4 to 8 hours. But it had just died. Even the soul of an ordinary beast would not dissipate so quickly. He immediately thought of spirit demons. These guys would collect the souls of demon beasts. Just now, he clearly felt that there was something strange behind him, although he didn't discover anything. Although he did not find anything, he was a peak Yuanian cultivator. He definitely would not be mistaken. They could appear and disappear without a sound. Either their cultivation level was far higher than his, or they had special abilities. There was no one in Beiyuan Xiuxian whose cultivation level was far higher than his. Only spirit demons had this special ability. Wang Daoyuan was ecstatic. Although he could not catch the spirit demons, he could at least be sure that these guys were around. As long as these things existed, there was a chance to catch them. Chapter 964. This could be considered a close encounter with a soul demon. Unfortunately, he didn't discover the soul demon's methods in time. Even if he wanted to find this thing, he couldn't use his divine sense to search everywhere. After all, soul demons specialized in divine sense cultivation. If he used his divine sense openly, he wouldn't be able to hide from them. Even if he encountered them again, he wouldn't have a good way to capture them. At this time, in the underground space behind Wang Daoyuan, there were 2 very small figures in a crack in the rock. One of them said, "Elder, we met this person last time. We saw that his body was far stronger than ordinary Zifu realm cultivators and suspected that he had a secret treasure. But we were worried that he was a high-level cultivator hiding his cultivation, so we didn't act. The other soul demon nodded. You did the right thing. This person is indeed extraordinary. He was actually able to sense our presence just now. Even I couldn't see any signs of him hiding his cultivation. If he wasn't hiding his cultivation, then it would be terrifying if he could sense our presence with such a powerful body. Either this person is extraordinarily talented, and his body and talent are both extremely powerful. Either that, or he has a secret treasure that makes his body incredibly strong, and that secret treasure may have the ability to sense our race. Either way, he's very valuable. What should we do? Should we capture him now? Don't act rashly. We haven't figured out his secrets yet. There were too many demons and half-demons here. If he had a secret treasure that could protect him, he wouldn't be able to escape. If we act rashly and fail to capture him, our clan will be exposed to the public. Keep an eye on him first. I don't believe he'll be with other demons and half-demons. When he's alone, we'll call more of our race and capture him in one go. Wang Daoyuan acted as if nothing had happened and continued to follow the half-demons. When they arrived at the main part of the hot spring valley, they found traces of a battle. There were many scratches on the walls and many shattered rocks. There were also many bloodstains on the ground. The spirit energy fluctuations it emitted indicated that it was left behind by a mid-grade grade 4 demon beast. From the aura of the blood, the owner should be a tiger-type demon beast with some white tiger bloodline, but it was far from being a half-divine beast. This sort of strength was simply impossible to survive against Bing Ho and the Xuanwu army commander. He should have been killed by now, and his corpse should have been kept. Zhua Chaowei brought the green flood dragon to the front of the ice dragon. He bowed and said, "General, this green flood dragon is a member of the Hot Spring Valley's demon clan. He is willing to submit to our Ice Plains demon race and is also a dragon. I didn't dare to deal with him on my own, so I brought him here." The green flood dragon continued, "Although I was born in the heaven/mountain range, I was a snake that transformed into a flood dragon. His parents were only low-ranked spirit snakes, and they had long since passed away. When I was young, I accidentally swallowed the remains of a dragon species, and the dragon bloodline hidden in my body awakened. After thousands of years of cultivation, he finally transformed into a flood dragon. He had cultivated for over 1,000 years and had never killed a demon of the ice plains. I have nothing to worry about in the heavenly/mountain ranges demon race. I am willing to submit to the ice plains demon race. Please take me in." The ice chi nodded. "Since you have dragon blood and are of the same race, there's no problem in accepting you. You can be a centurion under the left commandant for now. With your strength, it won't be a problem to establish yourself. In the future, when the Snow Dragon army expands, it will be easy for you to become a commandant." The green flood dragon was overjoyed. He thought that it would be good enough if he could keep his life. He didn't expect to be able to become a centurion. "Many thanks to General for not killing me. I will definitely repay General's kindness with my life." Everyone waited here for an hour before the Xuanwu army returned. The Xuanwu army's left commandant also cupped his hands towards the Xuanwu army's general. "General, we have 2 low-ranked rank 4 demons and 30 rank 3 demons. They have all been killed." The Xuanwu army's general nodded. "You have done well." Then he said to the ice dragon, "Brother Ice Dragon, according to our scouts, there are 5 rank 4 demons and over 100 rank 3 demons in the Hot Spring Valley. We have encountered rank 4 demons, but we have only killed about 50 rank 3 demons. There are still another 50 that have not been found." The green flood dragon cupped his hands and said, "Generals, those people took the demon cubs and fled south through the cave. This karst cave was full of forks, unlike the 2 directions in the east and west, which had been excavated by someone. I haven't been in the Hot Spring Valley for long, so I don't know much. I don't know where they fled to." The ice dragon smiled. "Actually, it's good to let some go. It's like the human race planting spirit grains. We can't eat them all at once. When these demons reproduce, we can come back and kill them. If we kill them all, we will have to go to Hidden Dragon Mountain to kill the demons of the Sky-Carved Mountain Range. The Xuanwu army's general nodded. Brother Ice Dragon's method is good. Then let's not take the risk and go back. Wang Daoyuan followed the Snow Dragon army and the Xuanwu army back to Snow Dragon City. After their near-death experience, the demons and half-demons wanted to indulge themselves. The Snow Dragon army gave them some rewards and let them indulge in wine and pleasure. After Wang Daoyuan sold the rank 3 wolf demon to the Myriad Rivers Chamber of Commerce, he returned to the small courtyard to continue his seclusion. He took out a communication jade talisman and sent a message to Wang Mingchen, telling him that he might encounter a soul demon. He asked him to ask the Myriad Spirits Patriarch if he had a way to detect a soul demon. In the palace of Qingli City, after Wang Mingchen received the message, he called out the Myriad Spirits Patriarch and handed him the jade talisman. After reading the message Jade Talisman, the Myriad Spirits Patriarch sighed. As expected of the Son of Providence, he found traces of a soul demon so quickly. The Black Tortoise Hall in the Valley of Beasts has been busy for more than 100,000 years, but they only found traces of soul demons more than 10 times. It's only been a year, but he found a soul demon. After a while, he might really be able to catch a soul demon. Wang Mingchen asked, "Do you have a way to detect soul demons?" This thing comes and goes without a trace, and it can hide in the netherworld at any time. If you don't have a way to detect it, the soul demon will escape before you can do anything. The Myriad Spirits Patriarch replied, "I've experienced too many things. I can't remember anything for a while. Daoyuan mentioned the soul demon to me before, so I thought more about it. Those kids from the Black Tortoise Hall have been fighting with soul demons for more than 100 years, so they have naturally created many methods to deal with them. They don't have the ability to separate the two realms of yin and yang, but they still have many methods to detect soul demons. Some secret techniques are not practical. After all, soul demons appear and disappear in an instant. They can't use secret techniques all the time. There was once a Black Tortoise Hall master who improved a soul-chasing compass based on evil cultivators' Dharma artifacts. This thing could track the traces of souls. As long as it was a living being with a soul, it could not escape the detection of the soul-chasing compass. Furthermore, the stronger the soul, the higher the spiritual consciousness cultivation, the more obvious it would be on the soul-chasing compass. Although the soul demon was neither a demon nor a ghost, it was still a living being with a soul. The disciples of the Black Tortoise Hall also relied on this compass to find traces of soul demons many times. Unfortunately, the soul demon's method of traveling between the two realms was too brilliant. They couldn't catch it even if they found it. Whether Daoyuan can catch it or not will depend on his ability. When Wang Mingchen heard this, he hurriedly said, "Then let's send the refining method of the soul-chasing compass to Father." The Myriad Spirits Patriarch said with a smile, "There's no need to do that. I saw that the inheritances in the secret room of the Imperial Study were all copied copies. They should have been in Daoyuan's hands. It's just that there are too many things, so it's impossible for him to check them all. Now, as long as we send a message to tell him about the soul-chasing compass, he can find the refining method himself." Wang Mingchen nodded and took out a communication jade talisman to send the information about the soul-chasing compass. Chapter 965. Wang Daoyuan didn't know how to search for the spirit demon, so he planned to go to the Archaic Mysteries sect to borrow the yin-yang compass. The yin-yang compass's functions were more comprehensive. It could search for various spiritual objects, find the flaws in array formations, and also have the function of trapping the enemy. Using this thing to search for the spirit demon would be more or less useful. After receiving Wang Mingchen's message and learning about the function of the soul-chasing compass, he immediately let the doppelganger in the space of the spirit pearl search for the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. After obtaining the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts, he let the doppelganger organize it. Different types of inheritances were stored in different categories. He didn't pay too much attention to an unorthodox magic weapon like the soul-chasing compass, so he didn't copy it. All the refining methods of unorthodox magic weapons were piled together. Several doppelgangers searched together and soon found the refining method of the soul-chasing compass. All compass-like magic weapons had the same basic functions, and the refining methods were relatively similar. The target was different, and the tool patterns were different. The soul-chasing compass could find the target's tool pattern and sense the power of the soul and spiritual sense. There were many compass-like magic weapons with this function, but the soul-chasing compass's function was stronger. Generally, the same type of magic tool would only be able to detect some clues when the target used their divine sense. The soul-chasing compass's function was much stronger. As long as a soul appeared within the range of detection, it could detect it. Of course, the premise was that the opponent didn't have any special defense. This soul-chasing compass was made by the Valley of Beasts and had never been seen before. Even the Black Tortoise Hall master who created the soul-chasing compass didn't know what method could interfere with it. There was doppelganger Shui Quan in the space of the Spirit Pearl. In terms of processing materials and forging, Wang Daoyuan didn't need to do it himself. The flow of time in the space of the Spirit Pearl was more than 90 times faster than the outside world, so Shui Quan had plenty of time to practice. 3 days later, a compass without any engravings on it was created. After all, the soul-chasing compass was a relatively special magic weapon. Its ability to detect souls was very strong, and the difficulty of refining was also higher. Wang Daoyuan tossed and turned for 2 months. After failing 3 times, he finally managed to refine a compass that didn't have too many flaws. After all, to deal with the legendary spirit demon, he had to try his best to do it perfectly. After the tool pattern was inscribed, it was stored in the spiritual bead space and placed in the Xian Xian cauldron to be nurtured. 5 or 6 days later, the artifact was completely nurtured. The well-nourished soul-chasing compass was a black disc with a diameter of more than 5 inches. Its raw material was the Yellow Springs willow. This compass was an upper-grade 5th-tier magic tool, and its refining method was similar to that of the 7th-tier soul-chasing compass. However, Wang Daoyuan knew his own limits, so he did not pursue a higher level of difficulty. The pattern on the compass was also very simple. There was nothing else other than the direction mark. He put the soul-chasing compass into his sea of consciousness. After all, he had to deal with the elusive soul demon. He couldn't always hold the compass in his hand. Back then, the creator of the soul-chasing compass had thought of this point and made some improvements to the tool pattern, allowing it to be stored in the sea of consciousness. Injecting his spiritual energy and divine sense into the compass released an extremely weak energy. This energy's ability to penetrate was extremely strong. When it came out of Wang Daoyuan's sea of consciousness, it did not encounter any obstruction. Soon, this energy covered an area with a radius of 300 miles. This energy was extremely hidden. Even with Wang Daoyuan's divine sense cultivation base, it was difficult to detect it. If he could easily detect it, he would not be able to hide it from the soul demon. The divine sense power of an ordinary demon was far inferior to that of a human. The great demon king of the extremely frozen ice field should be completely unable to detect this special energy, let alone the other demon clans. After the energy spread out to 300 miles, an illusory image of 100 feet in diameter began to appear on the compass. This illusory image was a topographic map of Snow Dragon City and its surroundings. A human sea of consciousness was originally an extremely special space, and the range was also boundless. Of course, the vast majority of physical objects could not be directly placed into the sea of consciousness. Otherwise, the human race would not need any space treasures. For this kind of illusory image without substance, it did not matter how many there were. On the topographic map illusory image, dense light spots appeared. Each speck of light represented a living being with a soul. These specks of light were all different in color and brightness. The light spots displayed by the soul-chasing compass had a total of 8 colors, which were gray, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Gray represented ordinary beasts and humans below the Qi refinement realm. The 7 colors corresponded to human cultivators from the Qi refinement realm to the Mahayana realm and demons of the same realm. The strength of the divine sense cultivation base was represented by the brightness of the light spots. Wang Daoyuan's compass was only of the upper grade of the 5th grade. The highest level it could detect was the soul of a soul formation cultivator. It displayed blue light spots. In the entire Snow Dragon City area, there were no gray light spots, and even red light spots were extremely rare. There were also many orange light spots, but most of them were yellow light spots that represented Zifu realm cultivators. There was probably a green light spot under the city lord's mansion. It seemed that there was still a 5th grade demon lurking in Snow Dragon City. After verifying its function, Wang Daoyuan closed the soul-chasing compass. The search tools were all available. If he wanted to catch the soul demon, he could only rely on the spirit pearl. To delay the soul demon from escaping into the underworld and buy time for the spirit pearl, he still had to rely on Yunyi's roar. This guy had stayed in the spirit pearl's space for more than a year. According to the flow of time in the space, more than 100 years had passed. There were many spiritual items in the spirit pearl space. Yunyi's cultivation resources would not be lacking. However, this guy wanted to slack off, so Wang Daoyuan ordered the Xian Cauldron's weapon spirit to keep an eye on him. Yunyi's strength was completely vulnerable in front of the 6th grade Xian Cauldron. The Xian Cauldron would not spoil him. If he was disobedient, he would be taken into the cauldron and roasted with the spirit fire. Now that his cultivation had reached the middle grade of the 4th grade, it would take some time for him to reach the upper grade of the 4th grade. His current cultivation speed was already beyond Wang Daoyuan's expectations. Without the Xian Cauldron, with Yunyi's lazy character, it would probably take him 10 years to reach the peak of the 4th grade. Now it seemed that it would take at most 2 or 3 years. The silver flood dragon came to his door. Wang Daoyuan's consciousness left the spirit pearl space. He came to the door and asked, "What's the matter, brother Silver Flood Dragon?" The right field lieutenant conveyed General Ice Dragon's order. The right field colonel wants to recruit half-demons as soon as possible. Also, starting from next month, the right field colonel's 100-man squads will go to the Sky Beheading Mountain range to patrol and kill the remaining demons. Is there any movement from the left field colonel's side? The Silver Flood Dragon shook his head. There's no movement from the left field colonel's side. They're still recruiting the 3rd grade demons step by step. However, the newly recruited demons have added a condition. They must have an escape technique as one of their innate spells. Wang Daoyuan nodded and did not say anything. It seemed that last time in the Hot Spring Valley, the demons suffered heavy losses while the half-demons were unharmed, which provoked the Ice Dragon. The demons only relied on their bloodline talents. In terms of adaptability, they were far inferior to half-demons. Half a month later, it was time for the right field colonel to patrol the Sky Beheading Mountain range. Wang Daoyuan was the centurion of the right field colonel's 100-man squad. His patrol area was east of Snow Dragon City. After leading his subordinates more than 1,000 miles away from Snow Dragon City, Wang Daoyuan opened the soul-chasing compass in his sea of consciousness. The image on the compass showed that within a radius of 300 miles, there were no other living beings besides the half-demons he led. This thing consumed a lot of spirit power. However, Wang Daoyuan did not care about spirit power consumption and planned to keep it open. Not far from the east, 2 dazzling light spots suddenly appeared on the compass. One of them was a green light spot representing the Yuanian cultivators. Moreover, this light spot was extremely dazzling. It was not inferior to his own light spot on the compass image. The other light spot was green. It represented a golden core state cultivation. Wang Daoyuan was overjoyed. His prey had appeared. The souls of demons were far inferior to humans. In the entire Beiyuan Shouxian, there was no one with a consciousness comparable to his. Moreover, these 2 light spots appeared suddenly. Only soul demons had a consciousness comparable to his and could appear and disappear unpredictably. Chapter 966. The two specks of light were very cautious and remained 100 kilometers north of Wang Daoyuan the entire time. This distance was nothing to Yuanian cultivators. Against ordinary enemies, even if they couldn't kill them in one blow, they could still severely injure them. However, soul demons were too special. They could escape into the netherworld at any time. Even mighty figures couldn't stop them. At a distance of 100 kilometers, Yuanian cultivators couldn't stop them. Wang Daoyuan didn't understand why the two were following him. In order to avoid alerting them, he pretended that he hadn't discovered anything. In the north, two indistinct figures floated in the air. Their figures were extremely small, only the size of mosquitoes. They didn't leak any spirit power or spiritual sense. Hun Yin, do you feel that something is wrong? Hun Yin released a trace of his spiritual sense and probed the surrounding situation. No, Elder. Our clan's spiritual sense secret technique is very effective. As long as there are living creatures nearby, even if their cultivation is much higher than mine, should be able to sense them. The elder also released a trace of his spiritual sense and probed the surroundings. Indeed, I didn't discover anything. I just felt that something was off. Could it be that you sensed the target's treasure? Hun Yin replied, that's really possible. All treasures are extraordinary in some way. Perhaps it's because my cultivation is too low and I can't sense it. Elder, your strength isn't much weaker than the patriarch's. You should have sensed the treasure's extraordinariness. What you said makes sense, but we can't let our guard down. When we attack later, we'll create some unexpected situations to avoid exposing our clan's whereabouts. Wang Daoyuan still acted as if nothing had happened. He led the 20 or so Zifu half-demons on flying swords. The two specks of light on the compass had always been 100 kilometers north. The distance and speed hadn't changed. Now it seemed that these two fellows weren't just passing by. It was very likely that they were coming for him. This sudden surprise left Wang Daoyuan at a loss. He was originally worried that he would alert the enemy and allow the two fellows to escape. From the looks of it, these two fellows were determined to die. A rank 5 spirit demon was not easy to deal with. The other rank 4 spirit demon could still give it a try. Yin Yi was a rank 4 spirit demon and had an innate ability to restrain spirit demons and ghosts. In the case where the difference in cultivation was not too big, there was still some hope of suppressing a rank 4 spirit demon with a tiger roar. Everyone flew towards the east for more than 2,000 miles. Silver Flood Dragon took out a simple map and said, Centurion, the right field commandant has divided us into 7 patrol areas. Our team of 100 now only has 20 or so people. We're divided into 3 teams of 10. If everyone were to patrol together, they would probably have to stay in this world of ice and snow for a few days. I think it's better to patrol separately. Centurion, please decide how to distribute them. Wang Daoyuan took the map and examined it carefully. Then, he pointed at the area on the map and said, I will personally patrol the southernmost area. The 3 of you will patrol 2 areas each. Wang Daoyuan wanted to send the others away, but the 2 spirit demons didn't make a move. Perhaps they felt that there were too many half-demons. If they took down all the half-demons, the impact would be too great. If a team of 100 suddenly disappeared, there would definitely be a big commotion in Snow Dragon City. These patrol areas were separated by 1 or 2,000 miles. If he patrolled an area alone, the other half-demons wouldn't be able to detect him at all. At that time, the 2 spirit demons would dare to make a move. Silver Flood Dragon hurriedly said, Centurion, this is not appropriate. Although the demons in the Heavenly/Mountain range don't dare to show up easily, there are still sporadic demon beasts roaming around occasionally. If you encounter those demon beasts, it will be difficult for you to deal with them. Rank 3 demon beasts are nothing to worry about. If we encounter rank 4 demon beasts, what's the difference whether we split up or not? It's settled then. You all go patrol your own areas. Then, he flew towards the southeast. After flying for 500 or 600 miles, the 2 light spots still maintained a distance of more than 200 miles from him. Wang Daoyuan was relieved. At least these two guys' target was him and not the other half-demons. He continued to fly towards the southeast for more than 2,000 miles, and the two light spots began to rapidly approach him. Wang Daoyuan was also a little nervous. This was a critical moment that determined his future Dao path. If the spirit demons took the initiative to attack, he couldn't avoid them without exposing his strength. Once they attacked but couldn't take down a spirit demon, they wouldn't easily show up in the future. The Arctic ice field was vast and boundless. Where could he find them? The spirit demons were rapidly approaching. Wang Daoyuan also asked his clone to greet Yun Yi so that he wouldn't screw up. Yun Enying was also ready to let the spirit bead leave his sea of consciousness at any time. After more than 10 breaths, the two spirit demons had already arrived more than 300 feet behind him. Wang Daoyuan quickly summoned Yun Yi from the spirit bead space. This fat tiger didn't screw up after all. The moment he came outside, he let out a roar. It was as if he was roaring out all the grievances he had suffered in the spirit bead space over the years. Wang Daoyuan was also very fast. When the tiger roared, the spirit bead had already arrived outside his sea of consciousness. Immediately, a spiritual energy vortex hundreds of feet long appeared around him, and the two spirit demons were in the spiritual energy vortex. The two spirit demons were taken aback by the sudden change. The tiger roar came, and as soon as they realized that something was wrong, they felt as if there was thunder in their ears. The rank 4 spirit demon was stunned on the spot. Although the rank 5 spirit demon was also a little affected, his cultivation base was not low. He reacted in an instant, and there was a violent fluctuation of divine sense power on his body. Wang Daoyuan only felt that a dark hole appeared below, and it was emitting violent spatial fluctuations. At the same time, there was an extremely rich yin qi gushing out of the hole. This yin qi was very mixed, and it was mixed with death qi, resentment qi, and so on. This should be the escape method of the spirit demons, shuttling between the two worlds of yin and yang. This mixed yin qi should be coming from the underworld. As soon as the black hole appeared, violent spatial fluctuations appeared on the spirit bead. Under the suppression of the spirit bead, the black hole slowly shrank. At this time, the spirit demon's concealment method was broken, and they were directly exposed in front of Wang Daoyuan. These two guys were almost completely transparent. They looked like human figures, but he couldn't see their specific faces. The rank 5 spirit demon's body also emitted the same mixed yin qi as below, enveloping him and Hun Yin. At the same time, the black hole below had an extremely strong suction force on the two spirit demons. This should be the spell used by the spirit demons to escape to the underworld. But the suction force of the spirit bead had always been there, and the suction force of the black hole did not prevail. The two spirit demons didn't move at all, and the rank 5 spirit demon let out a terrified cry as if it had encountered something terrible. Yun Yi was still roaring, and Hun Yin had fallen into a semi-coma and didn't know how to escape. As time passed, the spirit power vortex caused by the spirit bead became bigger and bigger, and the suction force became stronger and stronger. The rank 5 spirit demon couldn't hold on any longer, so it had to give up on Hun Yin and escape alone. Hun Yin, who hadn't recovered yet, was directly absorbed into the spirit bead. With a spirit demon in hand, Wang Daoyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He finally got something. This rank 5 spirit demon couldn't be let go easily, or it would attract the revenge of the spirit demons. While he was competing with the suction force of the spirit bead, his divine ability domain had already been unfolded. Yun Yi continued to roar, deterring the rank 5 spirit demon. Within a few hundred feet of the spirit demon, a black sea of fire formed, completely covering the place where the yin qi gushed out from below. The sea of fire was still expanding, trying to wrap the rank 5 spirit demon. The spirit demon seemed to be very afraid of the Gui water hell flame and didn't dare to break through directly. The Gui water hell flame could directly use the power of the soul and spiritual sense as fuel. The spirit demon's entire body had the characteristics of the soul, which should be restrained by the Gui water hell flame. The rank 5 spirit demon waved his hand, and a gray light hit the sea of fire below. The power of this move was not bad. The sea of fire was split in half, and he immediately swooped down. Wang Daoyuan quickly controlled the two seas of fire to converge in the middle. With the suction force of the spirit bead and Yin Yi's roar, his speed was greatly affected. Before he rushed out, the sea of fire recovered again. Chapter 967. The level 5 spirit demon crashed into the sea of fire and hurriedly retreated. After retreating from the sea of fire, there were still a few black flames on his body, and the fire was still expanding. He took out a 3-inch translucent bottle, which seemed to be made of ice attribute materials. This bottle was extraordinary, and it collected all the black flames on his body. Wang Daoyuan was a little surprised. In all the records of the human race, spirit demons were considered a kind of spirit demon. But ordinary spirit demons, even if they could use magic weapons after transformation, didn't have the ability to refine magic weapons. The spirit demon had never come into contact with humans, but he could have a level 5 magic weapon. The level 5 spirit demon turned into an ordinary person and used this small bottle to resist the surrounding black flames. At the same time, he said to Wang Daoyuan, "We father and son were greedy and wanted to sneak attack Daoyu. We were wrong first. We are willing to compensate Daoyu for his loss. Please let us go." The language this thing spoke was no different from human language, but the accent was a little different. Wang Daoyuan sneered. The spirit demon and half-demon have weak spirit sense. Human Yuanian cultivators can't communicate with the underworld. Do you think it's useful to pretend to be a treasure-snatching cultivator with me? As he spoke, his hands didn't stop. In the black sea of fire, 10 fireballs appeared in an instant. This fireball was only the size of a baby's fist, and it contained the power of thunder. It was the Gue Water Divine Thunder. Combined with the domain ability, it could condense multiple Gue Water Divine Thunder at the same time. Seeing that he couldn't escape into the underworld, the level 5 spirit demon stopped attacking the sea of fire. He just maintained the passage to the underworld and barely resisted the power of the spirit bead. The power of his spirit sense converged, and a large amount of cold air gushed out of his body. This was the southern edge of the extreme cold ice field, and the ice attribute's spirit power was extremely strong. Under the guidance of the spirit demon's cold air, the ice attribute's spirit power condensed into countless ice cubes around his body. The Gue Water Divine Thunder hit, and many ice cubes turned into ice fragments. But there were too many ice cubes, and a large number of ice cubes were intact. You can take down Hun Yin and break our escape secret technique. You must have come specifically for our race. You may have broken my clan's secret escape technique, but my peak 5th order cultivation base isn't just for show. This spell of yours seems to be the Water Divine Lightning of the 5 Thunder sect. Its power is not weak. It was rare for a body refinement cultivator to have such attainments in magic. However, no matter how powerful the blooming Water Divine Lightning was, it was still of the water attribute. In the extreme frost icy plains, it would not be able to unleash much of its power when it encountered ice attribute spiritual energy. Quickly release Hun Yin and I can spare your life. This soul demon was rather arrogant. However, even with mighty figures everywhere, the soul demon race had been able to roam freely for hundreds of thousands of years without ever failing. It was reasonable for him to look down on the human race, but this soul demon's arrogance was used in the wrong place. It was best to end things quickly when stirring up trouble at the edge of the Arctic icy plains. Currently, the spiritual chi whirlpool created by the spiritual pearl had already covered an area of over 100 miles. Moreover, it was still expanding rapidly. Snow Dragon City should have already been alerted. After all, they were at the doorstep of the Ice Plains demon race. If things got out of hand, it wouldn't look good for anyone. Now that this level 5 soul demon gave up escaping and planned to use his strength to force him to release Hun Yin, this was exactly what Wang Daoyuan wanted. He summoned the Xian Xian cauldron from the space of the spiritual pearl. If he wanted to capture this level 5 soul demon alive, he could only rely on the Xian Xian cauldron. As soon as the Xian cauldron came out, a powerful suppressive force was directed at the soul demon. This time, he panicked. Originally, he was at the peak of Yuanying and could still fight. Now that he had taken out a level 6 magic weapon, there was really no way to fight. Wang Daoyuan sneered and said, "If you are willing to serve me as your master, I can spare your life. If you resist stubbornly, you will definitely die." The level 5 soul demon smiled bleakly. Han Yin is just a junior and doesn't know much about the matters of the race. You won't be of much use to him. I am an elder of the race. If I serve you as my master, my race will probably be extinct. For the continuation of the soul demon race, it doesn't matter if I lose my old life. After saying that, the spiritual power and divine sense around him became extremely violent. Wang Daoyuan knew that he was going to self-destruct, but his body was surrounded by countless ice cubes. Even the Xian cauldron could not penetrate these ice cubes and make him lose his resistance. This level 5 soul demon was not weak, and he had been prepared. In addition, he was already determined to die, so it was completely impossible to capture him alive. If a peak level 5 soul demon self-destructed, Wang Daoyuan could not guarantee that he could escape unscathed. If he wanted to stop him from self-destructing, he could only kill him. The 5 natal magic weapons had been combined into the Yinglong demon-slaying sword. Wang Daoyuan injected most of his spiritual power into it. He did not use any spells. He directly controlled the Yinglong demon-slaying sword to slash at the soul demon. The power of the Yinglong demon-slaying sword could already pose a fatal threat to an early-stage soul formation cultivator. Especially in terms of killing, it was far superior to the Xian cauldron. The ice cubes condensed by the soul demon could not withstand a single blow from this sword. The barrier formed by countless ice cubes was directly split open, creating a passage. The soul demon was already determined to die, so he did not try to resist anymore. Yinglong's demon-slaying sword pierced through him. Wang Daoyuan restrained some of his power. He only killed the soul demon and did not destroy his body. As soon as the soul demon died, the black hole leading to the underworld instantly disappeared. He scanned the surroundings with his spiritual sense and did not find any traces of demons, half-demons, or humans. Only then did he clear the surrounding traces. He put the soul demon's corpse and Yun Yi, who was hiding behind him to watch the show, into the space of the spiritual pearl. Since he had already captured the soul demon, there was no need to stay in Snow Dragon City. He hid his figure and followed the sky/mountain range south. Soon, he returned to the Jade Spring Peak. The battle with the soul demon had caused too much of a commotion. The demons of the Arctic ice plains did not dare to go over to check. After 2 days, they sent a golden core half-demon to investigate. Wang Daoyuan had personally cleaned up the traces. Even if a Grand Demon King came, it would be difficult to find any clues. What could a mere gold core half-demon do? After returning to the underground cave abode of the Jade Spring Peak, Yun Enning entered the space of the spiritual pearl and prepared to refine Han Yin into a clone. This guy's soul was severely injured after being roared at by Yun Yi more than 10 times. The soul of a demon beast was very different from the soul of a human. The soul demon was extremely special. It was hard to say if it could be recovered. Wang Daoyuan took out the soul fragment from the clone puppet Xian Ding and injected it into Han Yin's body. Then, he waited for the soul fragment to control the clone. The soul demon clan was really strange. After the death of the rank 5 soul demon, his corpse slowly turned from solid to illusory. Now, his corpse was almost without substance. Instead, it looked very much like a soul. After waiting for a few hours, the soul fragment in Han Yin's body had already taken control of the clone. Wang Daoyuan pried into Han Yin's memories and had some understanding of the soul demon clan. The rank 5 soul demon that he had killed earlier was a high-ranking elder of the soul demon clan. His status was equivalent to that of a human clan's grand elder. His name was Han Ju. Han Yin's status in the soul demon clan wasn't very high. He could only be considered to have some nurturing value. The soul demon clan didn't live in one place. Instead, they lived in various tribes. The place where the patriarch and the elders lived was called the Soul Domain. It was the place where the Soul Demon clan was born. It was also the holy land of soul demons. Legend had it that the Soul Domain was located at the intersection of Yin and Yang. It was connected to the underworld and the Qinyuan realm. Soul demons were born as soul-like things. As their cultivation level increased, their bodies would become more and more corporeal. When they cultivated to the 7th stage, their bodies would completely turn corporeal. A 7th stage soul demon was very close to humans. They could even directly cultivate human cultivation techniques and dharma spells. The history of soul demons was very long. There were many opinions regarding the origins of this race. There were 2 reliable theories. First, soul demons were one of the primordial mutated beasts. It was only because the environment of their birthplace was too special that the soul demon clan was so special. Soul demons who held this view believed that humans were the hybrid of a 7th stage soul demon and other demon beasts. Second, soul demons were the bloodline left behind by human ghost cultivators after they cultivated to become ghost immortals. Ghost immortals were born from death. They cultivated a corporeal body from a ghost. This was very similar to soul demons. Chapter 968. In the knowledge of the human race, the spirit demon should be a kind of ancient beast. But now that he knew the basic situation of the spirit demon, Wang Daoyuan really didn't believe it. After all, this statement seemed to be flattering himself no matter how he looked at it. Unfortunately, the status of the soul hermit was not high and he knew very little. The place he was born in was just an ordinary spirit demon tribe and he had never been to the Soul Society. He didn't even know where the Soul Society was. He also knew very little about the number of spirit demons and their various inheritances. The relationship between the various spirit demon tribes and the Soul Society was like the relationship between the Blood Shadow headquarters and the various branches. The spirit demon tribes only received orders from the Soul Society and reported information to the Soul Society. They were not qualified to go to the Soul Society at all. As for collecting souls, they were not only collecting the souls of demons, but half-demons and humans were also their targets. It was just that the human race had too many methods, so they did not dare to collect a large number of human souls. Their bodies were very similar to souls, and any soul would be extremely beneficial to their cultivation. He didn't know much about the secrets of the spirit demon tribe. However, Wang Daoyuan still knew the method of converting spiritual consciousness into spiritual power that he needed the most. This method was attached to the spirit demon cultivation method and had the same meaning as the ghost cultivation method. Moreover, it was a very clever kind. Any big force always liked to collect more inheritances. If you wanted to create a cultivation method, you couldn't just think about it. You also needed to learn from other cultivation methods. In creating or improving cultivation methods for spiritual consciousness cultivation, you often needed to learn from ghost cultivation methods. In the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts, there were also many ghost cultivation methods, and Wang Daoyuan had seen many of them. There was really no ghost cultivation method that could be compared to the spirit demon tribe's cultivation method. Ghost cultivators themselves had no physical bodies and could only rely on their souls to absorb spiritual energy. However, what they absorbed was not the 5 elements spiritual energy, but the resentment, death energy, and other things derived from Yin Qi. From the ghost cultivation method, ghost cultivators' methods of fighting enemies were similar to spells. The power of spiritual consciousness produced by humans and demons relied on the cooperation of the physical body and the soul to be naturally generated. Ghost cultivators had no physical body, and their souls had also become ghosts, which was very different from the souls of living people. There was no record of how they used spells in the cultivation method inheritance. He definitely couldn't figure this out by himself, so he had to rely on ancestor myriad spirits. He left Jade Spring Peak and headed for Qingli City. After arriving at the Imperial Study, he was about to salute Wang Mingchen who was handling affairs. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand and said, "There's no need to stand on ceremony." Call out the myriad spirit's old ancestor. I have something to ask him. Wang Mingchen summoned myriad spirit ancestor, myriad spirits ancestor, and Wang Daoyuan. Ancestor myriad spirit of myriad spirits of the spirit demon tribe was looked. Wang Daoyuan nodded. One is dead and one is alive. It's a pity that the guy with the higher cultivation base, the soul demon great elder, died, of the spirit of the demon tribe. Of the spirit tribes. I've lived for so many years, but I've only heard of spirit demons and never seen one. Bring out the 2 spirit demons. I want to have a good look. Wang Daoyuan took out Han Ju's and Han Inda's corpses and placed them in the secret room. The living one has been subdued by me. The dead one still has a corporeal body. But after his death, his corpse began to turn into nothingness, more and more like a ghost. Then, he took out a few jade slips. These are the records of the spirit demon tribe and the living spirit demon's memories, as well as the spirit demon cultivation method he mastered. The words in the jade slips are the words they are using now. Ancestor myriad spirits looked carefully for a long time before saying, from the spirit demon's cultivation method, words, and the characteristics of the corpse after death. I think these guys are just flattering themselves when they say that humans are the descendants of spirit demons. The words they use are not the earliest words of the human race. These words were born more than 300,000 years ago and were used until tens of thousands of years ago. If they are really the ancestors of the human race, the words they use should be at least similar to the earliest words of the human race, or even older. These things look down on the human race. It is impossible for them to give up the words they created and use the words created by the human race. The spirit demons should be the descendants left behind by the human race's ghost immortals. Although this cultivation method inheritance is strange, it is inextricably linked to the ghost cultivation method. Although I have never seen the offspring of 2 ghost immortals, I have seen the offspring of a ghost immortal and a normal human. Although they have physical bodies, the characteristics of their physical bodies are quite similar to those of the spirit demons. This was the benefit of being knowledgeable. The more knowledgeable one was, the easier it was to understand the essence of new things. Wang Daoyuan then asked, their cultivation method can freely convert the power of spiritual sense and spirit power. If it comes from a ghost cultivator, doesn't that mean that ghost cultivators also have this ability? Ancestor myriad spirits said with a smile, you are really smart but stupid. It's not like you haven't seen ghost cultivators. Aren't there a few at the gate of the Valley of Beasts? If ghost cultivators have this ability, why would the juniors of the Black Tortoise Hall need to fight with the spirit demons for hundreds of thousands of years? If they catch a ghost cultivator, they can understand the secret technique of converting spirit power into spiritual sense. Ghost cultivators are special because of their ghosts. A large part of their bodies is composed of yin qi, death qi, and other energies. They use all kinds of methods by relying on yin qi and death qi. These energies can be used as spirit power or spiritual sense. However, the more they use, the weaker they will be. The essence of the power of spiritual sense was closely related to yin qi, and yin qi itself was a kind of spiritual qi. Therefore, ghost cultivators can use one thing for 2 purposes. Yin qi can be used as both spirit power and spiritual sense. The foundation of the human race is always the physical body, and the physical body can't bear too much yin qi. The pure yin qi produced by the gui water hell flame in your body is better. If it is slightly impure, it will cause serious damage to the body. I have seen 1 or 2 ghost immortals. They are in existence between the human race and ghost cultivators. With the protection of the physical body, they don't fear the heavenly might like ghost cultivators. They can also cultivate spirit power and have some special qi and blood power in their bodies. However, they don't have the ability to transform spirit power and spiritual sense. Then what's with this cultivation method? Although the intelligence of spirit demons is not inferior to that of the human race, there are definitely not many of them. Their cultivation method is only a small branch of the human race's inheritance. How did they create a cultivation method that so many human cultivators can't understand? Although they have the bloodline of Ghost Immortals don't have this ability. It's definitely not a problem of bloodline. Ancestor Myriad Spirits thought for a long time before saying, I guess it should be related to one of their Ghost Immortal ancestors. Mahayana realm cultivators comprehend the Tao and Earth Immortals return to the Tao. This Ghost Immortal should have comprehended a special Tao and used this Tao as the foundation to create a special cultivation method. Of course, it's also possible that the bloodline was affected by this Tao. What do you mean? I don't understand. Ancestor Myriad Spirits replied, you don't need to understand. This is something only peak soul formation cultivators need to understand. You are only at the peak of Yuanying now. It's useless to think about this. Since this cultivation method exists and can be used, it means that the heavenly Tao allows it. Even if it is affected by the bloodline, it won't be a big problem. The devil race's cultivation method has been improved and humans can cultivate it. Moreover, the spirit demons are also a special branch of the human race. However, it's not easy to improve this cultivation method. Although I know many cultivation methods, I have never cultivated them myself. I am a weapon spirit, completely different from the human race. I can't help you in improving the cultivation method. It will easily take hundreds of years to completely improve a cultivation method. You don't have that time. How about this? Go to the Archaic Mysteries sect and go to the Heavenly Mystery Tower to ask those Earth Immortals and mighty figures for help. A day in the outside world is a year in the illusion. You can save a lot of time. Chapter 969. It was indeed very suitable to improve the cultivation technique in the Heavenly Mystery Tower. There was a mighty figure in the illusion realm to guide him and the time flow was 300 times faster. It should be able to shorten the time needed to improve the cultivation technique by 1,000 times. Wang Daoyuan put soul concealment into the space of the soul pearl and said, this soul demon grand elder is already dead. I can't pry into his memories. You have a way to deal with demons. Can you find something from his memories? Patriarch Myriad Spirits nodded. Ordinary demon beasts are naturally no problem, but this soul demon race is considered a branch of the human race and is very different from the demon race. I'm not sure if I can succeed or not. With that said, he summoned the Myriad Spirits Pagoda and put the corpse of the soul demon Grand Elder into the pagoda. Then, intense spiritual power fluctuations appeared on the Myriad Spirits Pagoda. After a few dozen breaths, Patriarch Myriad Spirits smiled. This soul demon has no physical body, so it's convenient to refine him. It's a pity that before you could kill him, he had already shattered his own soul. Soul demons are the same as ghost cultivators. Their memories are stored in their essence souls. Their essence souls are completely shattered and their memories are gone. The essence soul was the soul origin between the eyebrows of the soul. It was the most important thing for the soul. Human cultivators couldn't control it at all, but ghost cultivators could shatter their essence souls and release all their potential to fight to the death. If one's essence soul was damaged, it would have a great impact on all aspects of life. If it was completely shattered, death was certain. This soul extinction is also a ruthless person. I met them at the edge of the extreme frost icy plains. After a fierce battle, I took them down. Although the traces have been cleaned up, the soul demon race has many methods. Maybe I can find some clues. During the time I'm at the Archaic Mysteries sect, I'll have to trouble you to protect the 3 children. Patriarch Myriad Spirits smiled. It's a small matter. I didn't know the background of the soul demons before. Now it seems that they are just special ghost cultivators. With that golden crow mutated species, even a peak rank 5 soul demon wouldn't dare to be presumptuous. I'll get Mingchen to set up some means in the palace. As long as the soul demons dare to come, they can forget about leaving. Patriarch Myriad Spirits knew all the inheritances in the Valley of Beasts and was very knowledgeable. If he dared to say this, he must be confident. With your words, I'm relieved. After that, he left Clear Glass City and returned to the underground cave of the Jade Spring Peak. The commotion caused by the battle with the soul demon was too great. Now that he was too active, it was inevitable that people would associate it with him. It would be better for him to stay at home for a period of time and wait for the limelight to die down before heading to Tianji sect. At the same time, Wang Daoyuan also used the channels of the Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce in Snow Dragon City to investigate the reaction of the demon tribes in the Arctic ice field. Now that the Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce had deepened their cooperation with the Ice Plains demon race, the Ice Plains demon race was no longer on guard against the Thousand Rivers Chamber of Commerce. The Wanshuan Chamber of Commerce had merged with the branch of Blood Shadow. Since the Wanshuan Chamber of Commerce had entered Snow Dragon City, the spies of Blood Shadow were naturally there as well. It really wasn't difficult to find out information. After that, Wang Daojian would send him a message every 3 days, reporting the reaction of the demon clan in Snow Dragon City. According to the information sent by Wang Daojian, Blood Dragon City had sent many half-beasts and beasts to investigate but to no avail. In the end, there was still a fifth-order demon who personally went to check, but he still couldn't find any flaws. There were beasts and half-beasts who guessed that only Wang Daoyuan could cause such a huge commotion. But there was clearly someone with similar strength fighting over there. There was no one in Beiyuan Xiuxian who could make Wang Daoyuan go to such great lengths. They couldn't even figure out who was the one who did it. Wanting to find out the reason was extremely difficult. The beasts were also very self-aware. No one dared to ask Wang Daoyuan. It was just losing a middle-stage Sifu half-beast. It wasn't worth the effort, so this matter was left unsettled. Wang Daoyuan, previously in Absolute Heaven Abyss, looking for Mo Jun of the Devil race who could convert spiritual energy into consciousness. He captured his descendant Mou alive and refined him into a doppelganger. Although Mou's bloodline was mixed, he was still part of the 10,000 Arts demon lineage. The 10,000 Arts demon status in the devil race was relatively high. In the future, when he dealt with the devil race, this doppelganger might be useful. Mou still had a lot of value. He grasped many devil race inheritances. Apart from that, he was also a devil race alchemist. His alchemy skills had also reached middle grade level 5. He also had considerable attainments in devil race formations. His formation skills were also low grade level 5. Although the devil race and human race's alchemy and formation inheritances were very different, there were also many similarities. With this foundation, it would be very easy to learn the human race's alchemy and formations. Back then, he had obtained the magic tool fragment left behind by Mo Jun in the Myriad Devil's graveyard and given it to Mou to refine. After all, that magic tool fragment was refined from the blood essence of a great power. The power it contained was too great. Back then, Mou only refined a small part of it and raised his cultivation to the late stage of yuanying. Wang Daoyuan returned from Absolute Heaven Abyss and stayed in Snow Dragon City for a period of time. Several hundred years had passed in the space of the Soul Pearl. Mou had long refined that small magic tool fragment. His cultivation had long reached the peak of yuanying. Because he didn't have level 6 spiritual energy, he didn't break through to the deity transformation realm. Most of the power obtained from refining the magic tool fragment was integrated into the fleshly body and bloodline. Now, Mou's fleshly body strength was not inferior to Wang Daoyuan. With his strength, dealing with the previous rank 5 soul demon should not be a problem. In addition to strength, Mou's bloodline also underwent some changes. Now that he integrated his spiritual power into his bloodline, he could also transform a very small amount of divine sense and blood qi. After all, he was Mo Jun's descendant. After refining his blood essence, it was not strange for him to inherit a part of his abilities. If he could not catch the soul demon, Mou's value to Wang Daoyuan would be very great. But now that he had obtained the inheritance of the soul demon, the relationship between the soul demon and the human race was very close. Learning from the soul demon's inheritance and improving the 5-spirit immortal transformation art, so that it had the function of transforming spiritual power into divine sense, was much better than studying the devil race bloodline. However, Mou was still very valuable. Spiritual power transforming into divine sense, no matter how slow the speed was, had great benefits for future cultivation. In the future, Mo could be nurtured into a hired thug. Unfortunately, he did not have the refining method of Mo Jun's blood-colored Great Seal in his hands. He could only let him slowly develop his bloodline, hoping that he could reach the level of his ancestor, Mo Jun. After studying the Soul Demon's cultivation method on the Jade Spring Peak, he did not make much progress after a year. The previous battle with the Soul Demon race was gradually forgotten. Wang Daoyuan did not intend to wait any longer. He drove the flying boat away from the Jade Spring Peak and headed west. 3 days later, the flying boat arrived at the Archaic Mysteries Sect's mountain gate. Since the last time the West Sea Demon race came ashore and more than half of them were killed by the human race, they had not caused any trouble. The cultivators of other forces stationed here had also left the Archaic Mysteries Mountain. Wang Daoyuan had already greeted the Archaic Mysteries sect. As soon as he arrived at the mountain gate, Xian Jiuxiao came out to welcome him. "Brother, I haven't seen you for many years. I didn't expect your cultivation to have reached the peak of Yuanying and become the strongest person in Beiyuan Shoshin. Back then, when we were traveling in Shanbei, our cultivation was about the same. Now, I have just cultivated to the peak of the Gold Core realm." Xian Jiuxiao was slightly younger than Wang Daoyuan and was now more than 400 years old. "When you succeeded the sect master of the Archaic Mysteries sect, I had something to do in the southern wasteland and could not rush over to celebrate. I hope brother does not blame me." "Brother, you are too serious. The Prime Minister of the Yen Kingdom came to congratulate us with sincerity. Brother, if you want to use the Archaic Mysteries Tower, you must have another enlightenment. The Archaic Mysteries Tower is ready. Please follow me." Wang Daoyuan followed Xian Jiuxiao to the Archaic Mysteries Tower. Xian Jiuxiao bid farewell and left. He went to the 6th floor alone. Here were all cultivation method inheritances. If he wanted to improve his cultivation method according to the Soul Demon's inheritance, he naturally had to find these powerful figures with more special cultivation methods. After checking the names of these powerful figures, he found the inheritance of Supreme Divinity Xianbing. This person was also one of the few powerful figures in the Valley of Beasts and was also a sect master of the Valley of Beasts. He had very high attainments in the spiritual sense. Chapter 970. Most importantly, this divine venerable black ice was once the Black Tortoise Hall master. Capturing spirit demons was the obsession of the Black Tortoise Hall in the Valley of Beasts. As a qualified Black Tortoise Hall master, it was impossible for him not to be tempted by the secret of the spirit demon. Besides, the Valley of Beasts had a very close relationship with the Yen Kingdom, so he could get close to them. At that time, he was not afraid that divine venerable black ice would not teach him. Wang Daoyuan sat down on the futon in front of divine venerable black ice's inheritance and probed it with his divine sense. He instantly fell into an illusion and came to the endless ice field. In front of him was a handsome man in a black robe, exuding a cold aura. He was meditating with his eyes closed. When he saw Wang Daoyuan come in, he opened his eyes. Then, he closed his eyes again, looking indifferent. "Your divine sense is not weak. It's almost at the peak of the Yuanying realm. You must have a very strong divine sense cultivation technique. Why are you looking for me?" Most of the ice attribute cultivators were like this when their cultivation reached a high level. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "Senior, are you interested in spirit demons?" Divine venerable black ice's calm expression immediately disappeared. He immediately got up and asked, "You mean spirit demons?" Wang Daoyuan nodded. "I met 2 spirit demons in the extreme cold ice field who wanted to deal with me, so I dealt with them. I killed one and captured the other alive. I also obtained part of the inheritance of the spirit demon race. Unfortunately, the spirit demon with a higher status wanted to die. The spirit demon that was captured alive had a low status and knew little about the spirit demon race. I wanted to ask Patriarch Myriad Spirit to help improve these inheritances, but he was not a human after all and could not help. He asked me to come to the Heavenly Mystery Tower and ask for help. Seeing your inheritance here, I thought that you are good at divine sense, so I came in to ask for your guidance. Divine Venerable Black Ice's face was full of anger. Looking at the strength of your divine sense, you are a rare genius of the human race, but you speak so indifferently. The Valley of Beasts Black Tortoise Hall wanted to catch a spirit demon and spent a lot of money. Nearly 100 generations of people had spent hundreds of thousands of years searching for the soul demon, including many Mahayana cultivators, but none of them had been able to catch a single strand of hair. You, a Yuanying Jr., actually dared to boast like this. You mentioned the myriad spirit's ancestor, and there are traces of the true dragon physical conditioning technique in his cultivation method. He must be an outstanding junior of the Valley of Beasts. Otherwise, would have made you suffer a little. Wang Daoyuan took out a few jade slips. This is the heritage of the soul demon race. Patriarch Myriad Spirit speculated that the soul demon race should have the bloodline of a ghost immortal. That was why he had these special abilities. Speaking of which, they were considered a special branch of the human race. It's here. If you don't want to look at it, I'll look for other seniors. Senior Divinity Black Ice looked indifferent and continued to rest with her eyes closed. A dozen breaths later, his tightly closed eyes opened a slit, and he couldn't help but glance at the jade slip. After struggling for dozens of breaths, he still could not hold back. He snatched the jade strip and said, "On account of ancestor myriad spirits, I'll give you a chance. If you try to deceive me, I won't let you off easily." Then, he probed the jade slip with his divine sense and read it very carefully. Wang Daoyuan did not disturb him and just waited quietly. Although the senior divinity Black Ice in front of him was only a divine sense imprint, it was still a divine sense imprint of a powerful expert and retained a large part of senior divinity Black Ice's memories. Even if it was a cultivation method that he had never seen before, its functions, advantages, and flaws could not be hidden from his eyes. After reading for a long time, he let out a long sigh of relief. This cultivation method does have the ability to transform spiritual power into divine sense, and it has a lot to do with the ghost cultivation method. It seems that ancestor myriad spirit's inference was right. The soul demon race is likely to be the descendants of ghost immortals. Unfortunately, this method of escaping into the underworld can only be used by ghost cultivators. This passage to the underworld was temporarily opened, and the space was extremely unstable. As long as something with a physical body entered the passage to the underworld, it would be torn apart by the powerful spatial power. Even a powerful cultivator would not be able to last for too long under such harsh conditions. Otherwise, this could be said to be the strongest escape technique of the human race. The escape technique of the soul demon race was so powerful that many disciples of the Black Tortoise Hall in the Valley of Beasts of every generation went to catch the soul demons, but they all came up empty-handed. Your cultivation is so low. How did you catch the soul demons? I hid my cultivation and disguised myself as a Zifu half-demon. I mixed in the area of the extremely cold ice field, killed a few demon beasts, and found traces of the soul demons. They saw that my physical body and divine sense were far stronger than the average Zifu and suspected that I had treasures on me, so they took the initiative to find trouble with me. In the end, they were caught by me. As for the method I used to catch them, that's my secret. Senior divinity Black Ice cursed in his heart. When he was at the Mahayana stage, he could not catch the soul demons. Now, a junior at the Yuanying stage could catch the soul demons. It was really embarrassing. Since you don't want to tell me, I won't force you. Being able to see this cultivation method can be regarded as a long-cherished wish. The soul demon race is also a branch of the human race. Their cultivation method is similar to ghost cultivation methods, so it's not too difficult to modify it. How do you want to modify this cultivation method? You have already reached the Yuanying stage, and the cultivation method you practice is not weak. You can't change your cultivation method now, right? Do you want to take out the method of transformation between spiritual power and divine sense in this inheritance and transform it into a secret technique, or do you want to integrate this method into the cultivation method you are practicing now? A separate secret technique was naturally not as good as integrating it into the cultivation method. If it could be integrated into the cultivation method, when he cultivated in the future, he could directly produce a large amount of divine sense power. The secret technique also had to be specially divided to perform, which would consume divine sense and spiritual power. The more process, the more consumption. It didn't seem to be much different, and it didn't matter when fighting. But after reaching the Mahayana stage, cultivation required a lot of time, and the demand for divine sense power was very high. This little bit of wear and tear could cost him hundreds of years, or even thousands of years. Even if Wang Daoyuan's cultivation speed was fast, he was not willing to spend too much extra time. I still want to integrate this method into my own cultivation method, but I have too little knowledge. If I rely on myself, it will probably take hundreds of years to do it. I can only trouble you, Senior. I am a divine sense imprint. I stay here to answer questions for future generations. Take out your cultivation method, and I will see how to improve it. Wang Daoyuan took out the 5 spirits immortal art and handed it to Divine Master Black Ice. Divine Master Black Ice looked through the 5 spirits immortal art and narrowed her eyes at Wang Daoyuan. You are not a disciple of the Valley of Beasts. Although this cultivation method is integrated into the true dragon physical conditioning technique, the foundation is not the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. It also has the inheritance of Divine Master Blood Spirit and Sword Immortal Guiyuan. Moreover, this inheritance also has the essence of Sword Immortal Guiyuan's inheritance. Although the Valley of Beasts has a good relationship with Sword Immortal Guiyuan, it is impossible for Sword Immortal Guiyuan to give his core inheritance to a disciple of the Valley of Beasts. Who are you? If you don't tell me, I will make you suffer. Wang Daoyuan could only waste his breath and tell her everything about the Valley of Beasts. He also took out a few core inheritances of the Valley of Beasts and released Yinglong's vision. Only then did Divine Master Black Ice believe him. She sighed. I didn't expect the Valley of Beasts to be in such a state. Fortunately, it still has a sect master like Wang Mingchen and a son of Providence like you. Forget it. For the future of the Valley of Beasts, I have to help you with all my strength. If you fail, the Valley of Beasts will really be gone. The core of your cultivation method is the 5 spiritual power seeds that turn into Yuanying's organs. This idea is very good. The closer Yuanying is to a living person, the easier it will be in the future. With your cultivation method as the foundation, if you want to integrate the method of the spirit demon, you have to create a place similar to the sea of consciousness in Yuanying's body. This sea of consciousness is connected to Yuanying's organs. Combined with the spirit demon's cultivation method, there is still hope for success. Anyway, there is no danger in this illusion. You will just suffer a little. If you try a few more times, you will succeed. Chapter 971. It was easy to say. In this illusion, whether one suffered from qi deviation or died, it did not affect the physical body in the outside world, but the pain could still be experienced. It was not easy to find help for this matter, so it did not matter if he suffered a little. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, Senior." After looking at Wang Daoyuan's cultivation method for a long time, Master Black Ice said, "Summon your Yuanying. Let me see the situation inside." It's too time-consuming to only look at the cultivation method to deduce the specific situation. Wang Daoyuan summoned his Yuanying. This Yuanying had grown to more than 3 feet. Good fellow, this Yuanying is not small. Looking at its strength, it is far stronger than ordinary peak Yuanying cultivators. The benefits of your 5 elements spiritual power seed turning into Yuanying organs are greater than I imagined. Master Black Ice's eyes shot out 2 golden lights and shone on the Yuanying. After a few breaths, he said, "Interesting. I didn't expect your method to be so compatible with the inheritance of divine blood spirit. The effect of spiritual power transforming into qi and blood is so good. When your cultivation reaches the Mahayana realm, you can surpass divine blood spirit." After saying that, he waved his left hand gently, and a ball of ice attribute spiritual power condensed into a Yuanying model. This model was exactly the same as Wang Daoyuan's Yuanying, but it was transparent. I only have ice attribute spiritual power, so it's not easy to imitate your spiritual power seed. You can integrate a part of your spiritual power into this Yuanying model and shape it into Yuanying organs. I don't have 5 elements spiritual power, so you can send your spiritual power in. Wang Daoyuan took out some 5 elements spiritual fire and integrated it into the Yuanying model. It converged into the appearance of the 5 organs and continued to input spiritual power. Then, Master Black Ice used his divine sense to activate the Yuanying model. The spiritual power in the Yuanying model began to circulate between the 5 organs. The circulation method was exactly the same as the 5 spirits' immortal art. During the circulation process, it slowly condensed vital essence and constantly produced qi and blood power. He could condense a Yuanying model out of thin air and use his cultivation technique. It was very difficult for anyone below the mighty figure level to do such a thing. It's a pity that your spiritual power seed is too simple, and the speed at which it produces spiritual power is also limited. You were able to cultivate so quickly mainly because of the spiritual fire. The person who created the seed shouldn't have a high cultivation base, right? Wang Daoyuan nodded. Indeed, my cultivation level is not high. I obtained this cultivation method when I was in the qi refining stage. It was also created by a peak gold core stage cultivator. He didn't take in any other disciples when he was alive, so after creating this cultivation method, he didn't make any improvements. After I broke through Yuanying, I made some improvements to it. The last time he consulted the blood spirit divinity, he had also made some improvements. However, these 2 improvements only increased the functions of the cultivation method, and did not touch the internal structure of the spiritual power seed. Hierarch Black Ice nodded and said, "This spiritual power seed has great potential. You can try to improve it in the future. I'm an ice-type cultivator, so I don't have a deep understanding of the 5 elemental laws. If he acted rashly, it might backfire. You'd better find other mighty figures to improve the internal structure of the spiritual power seed." With that, he began to carefully check the cultivation method of the Soul Demon clan. He also created a complete human meridian model and began to operate the Soul Demon cultivation method according to the model. Although Wang Daoyuan's cultivation level was low, he still had some knowledge. If he wanted to transform the cultivation method of other races into a human cultivation method, he had to start from the lowest level and deduce it step by step. This was also from easy to difficult, and it was easier to find the problems in the cultivation method. Although the Soul Demon clan had a deep relationship with the human race, they didn't have a physical body after all. It was much harder to use a human body to cultivate the Soul Demon cultivation method than to transform the inheritance of the demon clan. Not long after the human meridian model created by Hierarch Black Ice started to operate the Soul Demon cultivation method, the meridians began to collapse. He immediately stopped operating the cultivation method and adjusted the cultivation method according to the location of the collapsed meridians. This kind of situation happened almost every hour. After more than 2 years, he finally completed the deduction of the qi refining stage cultivation method. After inputting spiritual power into the human meridian model, it could be operated continuously. Moreover, during the operation, it would constantly produce the power of divine sense. Although the amount was very small, as long as it had this function, it was considered a success. Hierarch Black Ice breathed a sigh of relief. Everything is difficult at the beginning. Now that it's on the right track, it will be simple in the future. Then, he added a purple mansion to the meridian model. There was not much difference between the foundation establishment stage and the qi refining stage in terms of spiritual power operation. Now, he was only verifying the operation of spiritual power, so he could skip it directly. The operation of spiritual power was the foundation of the cultivation method, mainly including refining spiritual power and condensing vital essence. In addition, the cultivation method also included the means of using spiritual power. After the deduction of the operation of spiritual power was completed, he needed to consider it. Then, He began to deduce the situation after the meridians and Purple Mansion were connected. This time, it was much smoother. It only took 2 or 3 months to deduce it. The operation of spiritual power of the Golden Core and Purple Mansion was not much different. After all, there was nothing new. Hierarch Black Ice created a new Yuanying model and integrated it into the human meridian model. This was to deduce the operation of spiritual power during the Yuanying stage. If he wanted to integrate the soul demon cultivation method into the 5 spirits immortal transformation technique, it was best to completely transform it into a human cultivation method. It was very difficult to do 2 things at the same time. The integration of the Yuanying model and the human meridian model made the deduction process much more complicated. However, the previous things were straightened out. It only took more than a year to deduce it successfully. Hierarch Black Ice breathed a sigh of relief. This operation of spiritual power can be used to the peak of the soul formation stage. It is too difficult for the Mahayana stage. With my strength, it will take hundreds of years to deduce the Mahayana cultivation method. Although your divine sense cultivation is strong, you can't last hundreds of days in the illusion. Let's stop here. When you cultivate to the peak of the soul formation stage, come to me. The operation of spiritual power is the skeleton of the cultivation method. Now that the skeleton has been formed, the rest is simple. After that, he turned the meridian model in front of him into a complete human model. He moved out of the Yuanying model and began to perfect the cultivation method. This model was like a real person. It absorbed spiritual power, refined, stored it, and cast some simple spells. After that, the human model slowly improved its cultivation. It broke through the foundation establishment stage, opened up the Purple Mansion, formed the Golden Core, broke the Golden Core and formed the nascent soul. Finally, it drew the yin and yang qi to refine the Yuanying and turn it into a primordial spirit. 2 years later, the human model officially broke through to the soul formation stage. The human model also cast a few spells, which were far more powerful than Wang Daoyuan's full-strength attack. Wang Daoyuan was stunned by this method. It was equivalent to creating a soul formation stage warrior casually. The methods of a mighty figure were really unpredictable. Hierarch Black Ice's face, which had been as cold as ice, also showed joy. It's done. This cultivation method has been transformed into a cultivation method of the human race. The dream of nearly 100 generations of disciples of the Black Tortoise Hall in the Valley of Beasts has been fulfilled in my hands. Then, he sighed again. It's a pity that others won't know about this. After you leave the illusion, I will forget about these things. Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, Senior, don't worry. When I go back, I will give this cultivation method to Mingchen and make it part of the inheritance of the Valley of Beasts. I will also tell him that this cultivation method was created by Hierarch Black Ice of the Valley of Beasts. In the future, the disciples of the Valley of Beasts will also remember your contribution. Is that true? Of course. This cultivation method will be shared by the Yen Kingdom and the Valley of Beasts. Since it was created by you, you should name it. This cultivation method mainly focuses on the cultivation of spiritual power. The cultivation of spiritual power is relatively ordinary. Let's call it the soul refining art. However, I only tried to deduce this cultivation method with a model. No matter how good the model is, it is still different from the human body. Therefore, this cultivation method still has many imperfections. He had to be extremely careful when he was cultivating to prevent himself from going berserk. Next, you will have to integrate the soul refining art into your cultivation method. It may take a long time. You have been in this secret realm for a few years. Your spiritual power must have been consumed a lot. Why don't you go out and recover your spiritual power first? Chapter 972. Wang Daoyuan had stayed in the illusion for about 6 years, which was equivalent to 6 days outside. Entering the illusion consumed a lot of divine sense. Ordinary Yuanying cultivators could only last for 1 day. He closed his eyes and carefully sensed his body. He found that his divine sense power was not consumed much. So far, only about 1/3 of it had been consumed. He could still stay in the illusion for more than 10 days. If he exited the illusion now, Divine Master Black Ice's divine sense imprint would lose this memory. He could record the soul-refining chant first and let Divine Master Black Ice continue to deduce it the next time he came in. However, he also needed time to familiarize himself with the cultivation method. Naturally, it was better to do it in one go. Senior, don't worry. I still have more than half of my divine sense left. It won't be a problem for me to last for more than 10 years. Divine Master Black Ice nodded. Then there's no problem. It's easier to combine the two cultivation methods. The new 5 spirits immortal chant should be able to be completed within 5 years. Then, he destroyed the soul formation model he had created before and created a new human model that had just entered the chi refining stage. He began to deduce the appearance of the combination of the 5 spirits immortal chant and the soul refining chant. Although the difficulty was much lower, it was better to deduce it step by step from low to high. After all, the soul refining chant was an immature cultivation method. Unlike Divine Master Blood Spirit, who had a mature cultivation method, he could deduce the situation of the Yuanying stage directly. In order to avoid problems in the actual cultivation of the soul-refining chant, it was safer to deduce it from the beginning together with the 5 spirits immortal chant. At the same time, he could perfect the soul-refining chant again. Similar to the previous steps, he started to deduce the operation of spiritual power. The difficulty of combining 2 human cultivation methods was much lower. In less than 2 years, he had deduced the operation of spiritual power to the soul formation stage. Then, Divine Master Black Ice continued to perfect the entire cultivation method. A year later, he gave a beast skin book to Wang Daoyuan. This cultivation method is enough for you to cultivate to the peak of the soul formation stage. I've verified the soul refining chant again. There are no big loopholes. I've also modified the small loopholes. You've now formed your nascent soul. Unlike the model, you can't start from the beginning. Modifying a Yuanying model is much more difficult. Let's try using the Yuanying model from before. This Yuanying model had been running for 8 or 9 years, and so far, there had been no problems. That brute, Blood Spirit Supreme God, is quite capable. He modified this cultivation method to perfection. There hasn't been any problems after so many years. With a gentle wave of his hand, the Yuanying stopped. Then, he pointed at the center of the Yuanying model's eyebrows with his right hand. He closed his eyes and poured his divine sense into Yuanying's glabella. After a dozen breaths of time, there was a peng sound. The center of the Yuanying model's eyebrows shattered, and a small hole appeared. Wang Daoyuan felt a chill run down his spine. If he tried it himself, he would definitely die. Imitating the sea of consciousness in Yuanying is a bit difficult. Then, he repaired the Yuanying model and tried again. After nearly a year, he finally opened something similar to the sea of consciousness in this Yuanying model. Divine Master Xianbing called it the internal sea of consciousness. Moreover, the internal sea of consciousness was connected to the internal organs formed by the spiritual power seed. These things were connected to the internal meridians. When the spiritual power was running in Yuanying, part of the spiritual power entered the internal sea of consciousness through the internal meridians and automatically transformed into divine sense. Divine Master Xianbing took out a jade slip and engraved the contents on it. Not bad. You've successfully opened the internal sea of consciousness and run the cultivation method. The modification is complete. This is the method to open the internal sea of consciousness and meridians for the Yuanying model. Take a look and try again. Wang Daoyuan memorized the contents of the jade slip. After he exited the secret realm, these things would be gone. Then, he began to extract energy from his own sea of consciousness according to the contents of the jade slip and poured it into the Yuanying model. The energy gathered in the middle of the Yuanying model's eyebrows and gradually opened a small space. When the spiritual power seed was turned into the 5 internal organs of the Yuanying model, part of the internal meridians had been opened and connected to the 5 internal organs. Now, he needed to connect the internal meridians with the internal sea of consciousness so that the energy between the 5 internal organs and the internal sea of consciousness could be transformed. There were no obvious flaws in the cultivation method deduced by Divine Master Xianbing. It only took more than a month for the internal sea of consciousness to be completely formed and the internal meridians were completely connected. Wang Daoyuan ran the cultivation method. After the spiritual power entered the Yuanying model, part of it was transformed into qi, blood, and divine sense. There were no problems after running the cultivation method for more than 10 days. Previously, the 5 spirits immortal spell could only be cultivated to the Yuanying model. Now, with the help of Divine Master Xianbing, it was directly deduced to the peak of the apotheosis realm. Divine Master Xianbing nodded with satisfaction. It's finally done. With this cultivation method, your cultivation speed will be greatly increased when you reach the apotheosis realm. What I can do now is to transform the spiritual power into qi, blood, and divine sense. There is still room for improvement. But it's still too early. It won't be too late to improve it when you reach the Mahayana realm. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me. Wang Daoyuan thought for a moment and cupped his hands. Senior, please create a secret skill with the same function according to the soul refining spell. Don't you already have a cultivation method? What's the use of a secret skill? Although I have my own cultivation method, there are very few people who can cultivate the 5 spirits immortal spell. Although the soul refining spell can transform spiritual power into divine sense, it only focuses on divine sense and underestimates spiritual power. My 3 children, the eldest, Wang Mingchen, cultivates the heaven-burning palace of fire. The second, Wang Mingren, cultivates the killing sword technique. The third, Wang Mingxian, cultivates the E-wood psychic technique. There's also a grandnephew with a heaven spiritual root who cultivates the black tortoise water resisting technique. They all have great potential. It's not impossible for them to cultivate to the grand cultivator realm in the future. These cultivation methods are also very suitable for them. I can't ask them to cultivate the divine spell. It's also very difficult to integrate the soul refining spell's function into these cultivation methods. I want you to create another secret skill for them to cultivate. This way, the chances of them reaching the grand cultivator realm in the future will be higher. If Wang Daoyuan were to deduce this secret skill by himself, it would take a long time even with the help of the spiritual pearl space's time acceleration. Moreover, there would be many loopholes in the deduced secret skill based on his own knowledge. As the saying goes, don't bother 2 masters for the same matter. Since Supremacy God Black Ice could deduce the soul refining spell and integrate it into the 5 spirits immortal spell, it won't take much to deduce another secret skill. There are really many talents among your descendants. These cultivation methods have been improved by dozens of generations and are already very perfect. It's very difficult to integrate the soul refining spell. Since they're suitable to cultivate these cultivation methods, it's not suitable for them to change them. It's not bad to cultivate a secret skill. I've deduced this cultivation method twice and modified it countless times. I've already memorized all the contents. It's not difficult to create a secret skill. Give me some time and I'll deduce it. Wang Daoyuan gave him another animal skin book. Supremacy God Black Ice recorded it while deducing and modifying it from time to time. Half a month later, he gave the animal skin book to Wang Daoyuan. Okay, you can try to cultivate it. There was a lot of content in this secret skill. It recorded 4 or 5 pages of animal skin. Ordinary cultivation methods were just like that. Wang Daoyuan began to cultivate according to the content recorded in the book. 3 days later, he began to use the secret skill. A large amount of pure spiritual power was injected into his sea of consciousness. Soon, it was converted into some divine sense power. Although the conversion speed was not as fast as cultivation methods, it was not bad. It was not a problem to use it in a fight. Supremacy God Black Ice was pleased to see that he had succeeded. You've added another inheritance to the Valley of Beasts. Wang Daoyuan smiled. Senior, don't worry. The Valley of Beasts and the disciples of the Wang family will definitely carry forward the soul-refining spell and this secret skill. When I see your real body in the future, I'll let him have a look and fulfill your lifelong wish. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.